Okay. Edit. And we go customization. Let me see here. Details. Okay. And there we go. Public. There we go. Alright. We're here. Alright, let's get this party started. So, today we'll be doing some artwork. That was not our question in the first place. Alright. Let's get down to business. So we got 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we gotta do the lower half. So I can see if I can do it too. Okay. These are mostly the keyframes. So we got. Okay, we gotta get. We did what? 5? We gotta do 6 to 11. Okay. Okay, so this particular move, I think we should. Okay, let me see. Flip, 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 flip. Ooh, that's a fast one, but okay. Let's just do it this way. Oh. You can't hear me? The fuck? How you can't hear me? Oh wait, hi. We can't hear you. Oh, there. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just read that. All right, so let's get down here. First, I want to keep shit consistent, so I'm gonna assume that I think we should go with the first turn. It might be the closest out of the few. So I'm gonna take this one.
Artextric says WSP.
Hello. Hello, Rick. Okay. I'm gonna grab all of this, put it in one folder. Okay, put it in there. Then I'm gonna copy, paste, grab this, pull this down here. What the hell? Okay. Alright, go back. Oh, put that in there. Okay. Okay. Copy, paste, and put it down here. There we go. Alright. As I work on this, I'm gonna play some stuff in the background, so there we go.
Scripts before he could even drive. His career didn't sprout from hustle. It was incubated in a glass case at the Will and Jada Foundation of manufactured stardom. And while other actors had to claw for auditions, Jaden's talent was fast-tracked into every corner of Hollywood that could fit him. You don't even have to look hard to see it, just trace the films. They read like a guided tour of how studios tried to brute force him into superstardom, throwing every genre at the wall in the hopes something would stick. Spoiler alert, nothing did. Jaden Smith's debut in The Pursuit of Happiness has been mythologized for years as this tender father-son showcase. The kind of perfect Hollywood story where life and art merge seamlessly. But if you look past the sentimentality and all the clips you see of Will Smith crying in those motivational TikTok reels, you start to see how much of it rests on smoke and mirrors. The film is undeniably Will's, a towering performance that carries the weight of the American dream with anguish and determination. Jaden, in contrast, isn't asked to perform in any meaningful sense. He's asked to exist, to cry on cue, to look sleepy on a subway bench, to ask his real-life father why life is so hard. It plays well because of the context, because audiences are hardwired to respond to that real-world bond. But remove Will Smith from the equation, and you're left with what amounts to a child filling space. His line delivery is flat, his timing mechanical, and his expressions oscillate between blank stares and sudden tears without much in between. I know you might find it strange that I'm being this critical of a child's performance, but I'm an asshole, and you should know that by now. It's a performance designed for optics, and it worked because audiences bought into the image of a father fighting for his son. not because Jaden showed any actual acting chops. This film is the blueprint for why Jaden's career feels manufactured. Hollywood took the credibility of Will Smith and used it as a crutch to prop up his son, presenting Jaden as if he'd earned a breakout when in reality, the role required nothing more than existing in proximity to greatness. Plenty of child actors, think Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense or Tatum O'Neal in Paper Moon, stunned because they outshined their co-stars with nuance and precocious skill. Jaden did the opposite. He blended in and got rewarded anyway. That's the first red flag of an industry plant. Being celebrated not for mastery or showing tons of potential, but for merely being allowed in the room. And the saddest part is that critics at the time praised his naturalism without acknowledging that naturalism is what you call it when an actor doesn't do much of anything. If Pursuit of Happiness was the soft launch, The Day the Earth Stood Still was supposed to prove Jaden could actually hold his own. Instead, it exposed the cracks in his ability almost immediately. Cast as Jacob Benson, the precocious son who has to navigate alien invasion alongside Jennifer Connelly and Keanu Reeves, Jaden turns in the most grating child performances of the 2000s. The role calls for grief, a kid lashing out because of his father's death, and what we get is whining, shrieking, and monotone one-liners delivered like a school play rehearsal. He overacts in emotional beats and underacts in moments that need weight, leaving the film tonally lopsided every time he's on screen. It's bad enough that the movie itself was already doomed by lifeless direction, but Jaden's presence makes it borderline unwatchable. This should have been the career killer. This should have been the moment where Hollywood said, okay, this kid isn't ready for the bright lights yet. But that's not what happened, because Jaden wasn't playing by the same rules as everyone else. He didn't have to scrape for auditions after this flop. He didn't have to relegate himself to supporting parts to rebuild credibility. He walked straight into his first headlining vehicle 2 years later, The Karate Kid, because the industry had already decided he was the heir apparent. That's where the industry plant accusation stops being hyperbole and starts being reality. Anyone else with this level of stiffness and lack of screen presence would have been done. Jaden got rewarded with his own billion-dollar franchise remake. This was his chance to prove he was more than Will Smith's son and more than a flop from The Day the Earth Stood Still. And to Jaden's credit, he showed up. He trained for months. His fight choreography looks convincing, and there are many moments when the character is beaten down or struggling to adapt to life in a new country. But here's the problem. It's a performance that exists entirely in the shadow of the original. Ralph Macchio gave us an awkward, scrappy underdog whose journey felt authentic, rooted in the raw nerves of adolescence. Jaden gives us a polished imitation, decent, but deflated. Every dramatic beat feels preordained, as though the film is desperate to assure audiences that he's destined for greatness, when the truth is that he never really sells the transformation. Jackie Chan brings the grit, and the emotional core is Mr. Han, but Jaden can't match that level of authenticity. He's a placeholder in his own movie, the least compelling part of a story designed to showcase him. The result is a film that's technically fine but hollow, a remake that coasted on nostalgia and Jackie Chan's gravitas rather than Jaden's supposed star power. Audiences showed up because the Karate Kid brand is bulletproof, not because Jaden made it unforgettable. Strip away the name recognition, strip away Jackie Chan, and ask yourself, would this performance have launched a global star? The honest answer is no. It's passable, but never iconic. But Hollywood treated it as if it were proof that Jaden was the future. That disconnect between reality and narrative is what makes the plant allegations have some weight. He wasn't being judged on what he delivered, but on what the industry wanted him to represent. And that's why this film, more than anything, solidifies his reputation as an actor being manufactured in real time. If The Karate Kid felt hollow, After Earth was the full implosion. This was the crown jewel of the industry plant thesis, a $130 million passion project that existed almost entirely to force Jaden into the role of a bona fide blockbuster leading man, or kid rather. Will Smith literally co-wrote the story, positioned himself in the film as a sidelined father figure, and designed the entire narrative arc to push Jaden into the spotlight. And the result? A wooden, lifeless, and painfully awkward performance that critics shredded apart. The movie depends on Jaden's ability to carry scenes alone, to project emotion and vulnerability in isolation, but what we get is stilted line delivery and a robotic presence that leaves entire sequences dead on arrival. His inability to command the screen was so glaring that it became a meme. People walked out of the theater joking about how the film was really about surviving Jaden's acting. It was a
Oh
referendum on the
shit.
entire Smith family
No.
experiment and Hollywood nepotism.
Oh shit, that's horrible. Oh god, that is horrible. I don't know how I feel about any about that. That's horrible. That is just bad. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, poor Jade. I don't like the kid that much, but like I can't like damn you gotta give us some slack. Dude, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know.
It's even worse in hindsight, because now we see how transparent it was as a career move. It was Will Smith trying to bend the industry to his will, cementing his son as the heir apparent. But movies don't work that way. Audiences can smell when a star is manufactured, and when the box office bombed, it tanked Jaden's trajectory so badly that even Hollywood couldn't protect him. For the first time, the conversation went from, is Jaden good enough, to, should Jaden even be here at all? It was the rare instance where the plant label stuck so hard that it haunted him for years. After Earth was the moment the world stopped playing along with the Smith family PR machine. By the time Netflix rolled out The Get Down, Jaden's career was already radioactive, but here was the pivot attempt. Baz Luhrmann's lavish, chaotic musical drama about the birth of hip-hop was tailor-made to blend spectacle with earnest performances, and Jaden was slotted into the role of Dizzy, yes, I know, it sounds weird when I say it, a graffiti artist with a poetic streak. It sounds like a perfect fit. Eccentric kid with artistic ambitions playing a character immersed in underground culture. And yet again, the gap between potential and execution was massive.
Oh no.
What we got was a performative weirdness that felt closer to Jaden's off-screen persona than an actual character study. And if you know what that was like at the time, you know what I'm talking about. Jaden plays him like he's constantly waiting to drop a pseudo-philosophical monologue on Twitter.
Yep.
He had brilliant performers around him. Actors like Justice Smith and Shameik Moore were magnetic, selling the bravado of their roles. His delivery was uneven, and whenever the show leaned on him to bring gravity, he buckled. The irony is that Netflix pushed him as one of the show's main selling points, banking on his name recognition to draw in viewers. And while The Get Down collapsed due of its own bloated budget and messy production, Jaden once again managed to emerge with another padded resume credit. One more high-profile role that did little to prove he had any real acting chops. Jaden's physical evolution over the years has only added fuel to the industry plant fire, because instead of naturally growing into his own look, it often feels like he's been carefully styled as a mood board experiment by Hollywood itself. One year he's parading around in skirts and crop jackets, hailed as some kind of fashion revolutionary, when in reality it's just watered-down versions of what countless underground artists have been doing for decades. Another year, it's the bleached hair phase, paired with the ever-present vacant stare that screams more trust fund ennui than tortured genius. Even his physique has followed the same trajectory as his career. The Karate Kid era wiry kid who at least looked believable in a coming-of-age role has since morphed into a perpetually awkward figure, too lean to sell himself as a serious leading man, too overstyled to disappear into a character. His appearance has become less about authenticity and more about branding. Clothes that wear him instead of the other way around, looks curated for magazine covers rather than meaningful screen presence. It's like watching someone cosplay their way through relevance, with every new aesthetic shift feeling like a desperate attempt to make people forget how hollow the performances behind the image really are. When Skate Kitchen dropped, it was praised as a raw, intimate indie about female skaters carving out their space in a male-dominated world. And then, out of nowhere, Jaden Smith shows up. His character, Devin, feels like the exact kind of studio note that undermines what made the film powerful in the first place. You have a group of non-actors delivering natural, lived-in performances, and then Jaden parachutes in with his glossy hair and air of detached cool sticking out like a sore thumb. He isn't bad in the cartoonishly terrible way of After Earth, but he's glaringly out of place. Every time he's on screen, the authenticity that Crystal Moselle built evaporates. Devin is a love interest, a wedge in the group dynamic, but Jaden plays him with so little emotional depth that it feels more like an Instagram cameo than an actual character. It didn't need him. Like at all. The film had already found its heart in the stories of the skaters themselves, their bonds, and their struggles. Jaden's presence didn't elevate the movie. It distracted from it, turning something purely grassroots into yet another stepping stone for a celebrity plant. Indie films are supposed to be the antithesis of Hollywood nepotism, a proving ground for fresh talent without connections. Skate Kitchen got hijacked by Jaden's brand. One more chance for him to occupy space that could have gone to a young actor who actually needed the break. He doesn't ruin the film outright, but he leaves a bad aftertaste.
Okay.
Even here, in a
So
story that didn't
far.
belong to him.
Yeah, Jaden Smith is not that great. I'm sorry. He's just not. He's not that great. He never was. He's kind of annoying. Just call it for what it is. Just pretty much to the point. I find this boring to listen to. Something else. We need something else. I'm dying here. I'm dying here. Where can I go? Okay. Just their own fans.
Have you ever heard of the ship of Theseus? It's a concept I bring up in some of my videos from time to time that sadly keeps ringing to be true. The ship of Theseus is a theory that if every part of the original ship is replaced with new wood, new sails, and more, would that new ship still be the same ship of Theseus? Or is it now something else entirely despite having the same name? That's Bungie. Hell, that's Rocksteady. That's a lot of game studios it seems these days. Bungie is probably one of the saddest rises and falls in gaming history for me because at their core, I have loved their games in the past. But it's become very clear that Bungie has lost sight of what they're aiming for, and between their CEO now running for the hills and the disaster that he has left behind for hundreds of his employees, my question is, can and should Bungie even survive this mass exodus of both players and their talent? In case you don't know, quickly to catch you up, PlayStation bought Bungie a few years ago. It was huge. Sony now owns the Halo people. That's crazy. Well, not really, since a lot of the people who actually made Halo and Destiny aren't really there anymore anyways. It's as if Sony bought Bungie thinking that they were getting the Marty O'Donnell version with the glitz and the glamour and the prestige developers. Instead, Sony ended up buying, basically, the cover band version of Marty and Bungie, and now they're kind of left with a mess instead. Bungie hasn't been doing well, is what I'm trying to say, and it's become increasingly clear since they left Activision and more, while, promising their fans they would be better as independent, that was clearly not the case. Bungie, frankly, has never been worse, and somehow since the final Shape release, they've hit even lower lows. It's actually kinda just sad to see, but the cuts in the flesh here, they tell a different story. So like I said, Sony bought them for billions of dollars. Then their CEO, Pete Parsons, that's this guy on screen here, who is pretty much universally hated by everyone at Bungie for being a complete moron that tanked the company out of sheer...
Say hello real quick. I just want to make sure I can hear you guys in my ear. Let's see here.
Agreed. And if you enjoy the content, consider doing the usual YouTube stuff from liking the video, subscribing, leaving a comment. Thank you. But for example, in 2024, when Bungie laid off 220 employees, which was a massive blow to their studio, as key talents that were responsible for many of Bungie's best gameplay mechanics or the stories and whatnot, were all let go during this billions of dollars acquisition by Sony. But Pete Parsons, of course, during this spent, as you can see here, $2.4 million of his settlement that he got from Sony from those billions to instead buy classic cars instead of, protecting his employees, because he frankly, clearly anyways, didn't really care at all. Pete Parsons was stripping Bungie for parts like a raider in Fallout, taking the wheels and the engine for himself, while leaving the people that he's apparently cared for, in the car to just perish, pretty much. And that 220 employees, that equated to roughly 17% of Bungie's, entire being just being thrown into oblivion, but Pete Parsons remained. And like the massive parasite that he is, he was sucking the blood out of Bungie without pause. And then the house of Halo and Destiny, and now Marathon 2, was slowly but surely getting weaker as time went on. Eventually, in August 2025, Pete Parsons would finally announce via a Bungie post on their website, as seen here, called Passing the Torch, that he was leaving the company behind, and that a new lead would now be put in his place, whose name is Justin crewman, although weirdly enough, the position that this Justin guy would fulfill would not be CEO. It was actually instead called the studio head. Well, that's kind of weird, isn't
Hey,
it?
bro,
I mean,
what's
what's
going
the
on, bro?
difference? Turns
Sure.
out Bungie had been
Animator
failing
said
so
hi.
horribly for
what's
so
up, bro?
long that Sony PlayStation had to swoop in and essentially assume the role of being CEO for
Right,
Bungie
Froclose
instead.
said hi,
So
Teach.
technically right now, as of this
going on, bro?
video being
What's
made
good?
anyways, there really is no CEO of Bungie really at all. Justin is the studio head, but he answers to Sony PlayStation directly now. So gone are the promises that Bungie
Then
would
he's
still
not
be
real-
independent
And
under
if he
Sony.
has to answer this to Sony, then he's not really a real CEO. He's just a figurehead. He's just a figurehead.
Only, mostly because they mismanaged their
something
money,
said,
their
"How's your
time,
day
and their
been so
talent
far?"
so poorly that
Alright.
Sony had to step in like a strict parent
Just
and rein
started.
in Bungie.
We're trying to get this animation in check, seeing if I can get this in check as we do reactions on the screen. Right now, we're going a little slow with the reactions right now.
Animator said Okie.
So what we're doing is like we have something playing in the background. I react to it or talk about
Red
it
or
while I
something
work.
said nice. It looks
Because
awesome.
After a while, people get quiet. It gets too quiet, and people don't want to. It keeps everything dead. So that's why I have the reactions in the background. So if something interesting, I'll talk about while I work.
As
Animator
a
said
whole,
FR.
it was a terrible shift because now not only did Pete Parsons leave Bungie with his
Animator said
millions of
looking cool.
dollars in bag that he
Nice,
got from
nice,
the
nice.
billions that he sold the studio to Sony for, not only was the studio worse for Pete Parsons just existing at Bungie doing what he did, but now he got to leave scot-free and instead just let someone else deal with the problem that he helped create over years of mismanagement, greed, and honestly stupidity. Yeah, Pete won in the end. He stripped Bungie for everything that he wanted, and now he got to walk into the sunset. His bank account full with a big smile as everyone he screwed over was left with the mess that he helped create.
Damn. So he just literally he betrayed his whole everything just for some cash. That's crazy. I don't know. That's crazy, bro. I wonder how much zeros was in that bank account when they said, you can have it. I'm pretty sure it was about in probably 50 mil. Or, at max, 100 mil. I'll say 100 mil.
Really is no justice in this world sometimes. So what has Bungie done since Pete left? Well, they kind of just ruined Destiny even further actually. Look, I stopped playing Destiny after Final Shape, and to be honest with you, Destiny...
Bro, I stopped playing Destiny since like what? Fuck, like a little before Cade died. I stopped playing that shit a long time ago. I kind of realized this shit is ass. It's ass. To play this game, to enjoy this game, you have to be fucking rich. You have to be rich as shit. You have to have like exposable money to be playing this game. There is no reason for you to have this game. This game is fucking the worst thing in the world.
Red or something said that's a lot of money. I hope the other people who worked there are okay.
Nope.
Who are good people, lol.
Majority of them got laid off. A lot of them got laid off. A lot of them got laid off. That's evil. He threw his whole everything under the bus. That's crazy.
2 was probably my most played game of all time, but it became very clear that anything that was releasing post that Final Shape expansion was going to be some weird, not really Bungie experience anymore. And sadly, I was right, because Destiny's newest expansion, which was Edge of Fate, as seen here on Open Critic, it bombed, with only 22% of critics actually recommending that expansion to play.
Damn.
The actual player-based sentiment has been even worse. All over social media and YouTube is disgruntled Destiny content creators voicing their concerns on how Bungie has ruined a once amazing game, and frankly, I don't blame them. Look, I think that Destiny 2 had the potential to be the greatest game ever made. It is easily the most limitless and frankly interesting universe that has been made in Western game design in a very, very long time. Yet it has been completely ruined and torn apart by greedy CEOs and activists that are pushing for gender ideology over making their game fun first, and just a complete lack of understanding
The
of
kind of think to yourself how stupid it is about the whole gender ideology thing in like something like Destiny doesn't make a lot of sense, because if in the far future where everyone's kind of like extremely different and a walking corpse, I think the last thing you want to be is like a discriminatory individual. Like majority of the people, like the character you play is a walking corpse. You're not even a human anymore. You're not human. It's a mix of like robots, aliens, and humans. Like that kind of has to go out the window by now. At that point, like there's no reason for a real discriminatory nonsense to be happening like that.
What their community and their player base wants. I mean, I've cut ties with Bungie pretty much entirely at this point. Hell, their community manager has me blocked on Twitter despite never talking to him even once, which already tells me he's one of those types of community managers. And Bungie quite literally...
Yeah, I find
let's
that
just say
weird. Like I always find that strange where someone could be like, okay, so one of these creators are talking about something about a game, and then they look at like someone who works there. They just find out they get blocked. I'm like, bro, if you never interact with this person, why are you blocking them? You're weird. That's a weird thing to do. Like, yeah, you may not agree with their takes or whatever, but why block them? You never interacted with them. That doesn't make any fucking sense, but whatever.
Okay, they kind of went woke and went broke in record time, if you will.
So
and a
weird.
once incredible game has instead been reduced to catering to gender ideology and girl bosses, while the player base runs away in mass exodus as everything they've built crumbles. So you see, Destiny and Destiny 2, they used to be these games about the gameplay, the universe, and the co-op fun with your friends.
It really
Man,
doesn't.
I've had so many great...
Like, listen, I don't agree with a lot of people myself, but you don't see me actively blocking them in quiet. That's cowardice shit. Because you don't know that person. Like, okay, let me tell you. Say I don't agree with a feminist, right? I have never interacted with said feminist, but I heard her takes are not that great, right? But what if one day I might run into that one feminist for whatever reason, and then she makes a take that makes pretty good sense. Should I block her still? No. And even if she made a take that wasn't bad, that was not like technically good, I don't think that's warranted to block someone. I don't think that's warranted. I think you should only warrant that when they're like harassing you or attacking you. I think that makes total sense. You just outright blocking them makes no sense to me. Like, I don't like a bunch of anime grifters who are trying to get into the anime space, trying to pretend to be like an anime content creator, knowing about anime or a case may be, right? But then again, I'm not gonna block them because they haven't done nothing to me personally. Yeah, they fucked up on whatever character that they're talking about or whatever show they're trying to recommend that they claim is good, which is not. But then again, that doesn't make them a horrible person to be blocked. I think the block button should only use when someone's being like, oh no, unreasonably stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Something said I agree.
That doesn't make any sense, dude. Though I don't like that. When people do shit like that, you're a coward in my head. You're a coward as shit. I don't give a shit if we don't agree on anything. The fact that you did that shows how much of a snake you are. That's snake movements.
Great memories playing those games. Then a weird turn just kind of happened, and suddenly
especially
Bungie
on the
became
likelihood
far
we
more...
will never really interact with each other. Like, that's me blocking Will Smith. Why the fuck am I blocking Will Smith? Like, think about, you'll never have a conversation with Will Smith. You're already blocked by the association of knowing that your levels of associating is unlikely. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sometimes when people when they go to my posts, right? And I actually answer their posts.
Read or something said Limau. Real lol.
Some people actually get like freaked out, like, oh my god, you actually interact with me in the comment section. I'm like, bro, I'm just like a regular dude. You're in my comment section, but why not stay? Like, yeah, I might not answer all the time, but then again, I answer. You just happen to be the one I answered. Don't take it so seriously. It's not that deep.
Or interested in telling fans how every main character was either this gender or this instead, while ignoring the actual problems that needed fixing. Like, didn't you know that Sane 14 and Osiris, this robot and this old guy on screen, are in a gay relationship? Isn't it amazing how they kissed in an animated cutscene, as you can see right here?
That looks painful. I'm sorry, that looks painful. Like, do you, bro? But like, he's a robot and he's a human and his face is fucked. Both, I don't know them both, but the robot looks like he was in battle. Looked chipped as fuck. And you kissing that? I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that one. That may be your lover, yeah, but like his face is all chipped up. You gotta kiss someone who's got a bunch of glass in their face. I don't think that's a good idea. But hey, that's just me.
What's that? Make the game more fun? Oh, stop being a bigot and consume the slop, you evil consumer. How dare you? Didn't you know that Anna Bray, this chick on screen here, is gay too? Isn't that amazing? What's that? Stop over monetizing the game and releasing buggy products. You know what? How about you stop being a right-wing Yahtzee? Ever thought about that one, huh? I mean, I could keep giving you examples, but I'm not kidding you. That like well over half of the cast of this game is some sort of gender mixture of ideology nonsense, which adds frankly nothing to the story, while the actual systems of Destiny are just crumbling around it instead. And I'm not kidding either, as seen here from Forbes. Destiny 2 has sunset 80% of the entire game thanks to the portal. So in case you don't know, okay, the portal is this new hub, if you will, for all of Destiny's content. It replaced the director, which was basically the same thing. But anyways, you can access its PvE or PvP stuff and so on from this one spot. So in theory, it's supposed to make things better, but it hasn't. Because now with this
as we do reactions, I'm working on the animation. That's what I'm doing. Working on this animation.
Feature launched, as Forbes said, 80% of Destiny 2's available content has become pretty much pointless. Because the only things that actually progress you further in power, you know, the thing you chase via your loot and such to get stronger in this game, which is the whole reason why you're playing it, only now comes from either the new location, which is Kepler, or whatever the portal deems is worthy during that week, as Forbes says here. This means all old campaigns, destinations, playlists, dungeons, and raids do not play into this system at all. You can run them for old gear which cannot be converted or upgraded into the new system. The playlist vendors, for instance, do not even have a reward track anymore. The relatively recent well-liked Pathfinder system was deleted entirely. Grandmaster strikes don't exist at all anymore, and they continue.
Yo, I'm so glad I left this fucking game. I'm so glad I left Destiny. I'm sorry. I know some of you probably still play Destiny and do attack on you, but I'm glad I left this game. I saw the writing on the wall just with all the microtransactions just alone, but I didn't know about the whole woke nonsense. I didn't know about any about that, so I can't take credit for like knowing any of that shit. I left before Cade died, so like I can't.
At least 80% of the existing playable content in Destiny 2, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. So the fix is apparently that Bungie will reintroduce older content and weapons with arbitrarily higher stat rolls and numbers. Wow.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Thanks. So like always, Bungie has learned absolutely nothing again, and will instead just keep players on a hamster wheel that they need to run over and over again to keep current in the game. And they will just have recycled older weapons and content become useless, only to then make them grind for the same weapons again in just 6 months when another season or whatever else drops to keep their power up so that they're relevant. So no wonder, you know, Destiny and Bungie by association is falling apart right now. It actually makes total sense why Pete Parsons just took his money and ran, because this is, without a doubt, a sinking ship. Like, you know it's bad when PC Gamer is releasing articles with very positive titles like this one here. I have never known a Destiny 2 expansion with as many problems as Edge of Fate, and I'm worried the game may not survive them. Ah yes, what a ray of positivity there, PC Gamer, but they're right. Destiny 2, it needs a complete overhaul, but it's usually impossible to do that when games like this are so set in their ways. And PC Gamer, which gave Edge of Fate a scathing 54% out of 100 reviews, said this about it, which also reads, somehow Bungie has taken the worst elements of multiple live service grinds and combined them into something nonsensical that feels terrible to interact with. If that wasn't bad enough, Edge of Fate had so many bugs and errors that it led to things like as seen here, that Bungie they accidentally released armor into the game that made players fully invisible, which is kind of a big deal when big parts of your game involve, oh, I don't know, player versus player content. If nobody can see someone because of Bungie screwing up for the millionth time, yeah, that's probably a bad thing. Some of the more current issues with Destiny 2, as also seen here, involves tons of soft locking stuff, which ruins gameplay, missions not rewarding anything of value, raid banners just don't work anymore, campaigns failing to give rewards, and weekly missions forgetting to also reward you. I mean, it just keeps going, man. How does a studio that apparently made Halo become what it is today? Well, a simple Google search will solve that, as also seen.
You have to come to this conclusion now that all the companies that we grew up with within the early 2000s all the way to 2010s and into the 2020s, the people that was there who made your great games are either long gone whether they're dead, retired, or they was pushed out completely, or they left on their own fruition because they saw the writing on the wall 5 or 6 years before things went left. So they left early and quietly, especially if you had conservative ideology and or he was, unless he was conservative or some form of Republican, or even if he was leftist, like they saw what was going on and the greed, the government overreach, the activism, all of it. They all saw it coming. They all saw it coming. It's just we started realizing it too late into the game when it was like the ESG stuff and um, uh, the movement of like DEI and all that stuff. We all saw that coming. We saw no, we didn't saw. They saw it coming. They had more notice. So the people who already knew what was going left, going right, go left, either got pushed out before they realized it, or if they realized, they left before. They didn't want to be. This happened not only in the gaming industry. This happened in the animation industry, gaming industry, movie industry, TV show industry, or Hollywood in general, or entertainment space. So yeah. So the only way to rectify this problem is just to support your indie devs, like Team Cherry. Like I'm saying, like you have to support those if you want your games to be good again. Support indie games. Don't support the triple A, quadruple A companies, or even double A companies. I think it's best to just literally support your small team of indie devs of like 4, 5, 6, 20 people. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where it is. If you want the future to be good for gaming, support indie devs. I think that's the best thing to do. Now, if those indie devs are making things specifically for a certain niche, I think that's perfectly fine. This is why anime does so well. Why people just can't wrap their minds around why anime is doing so well than most shows in the West and stuff. Because the Japanese or Chinese or Koreans, depending on who you're asking, manhwa or whatever, they figured out that their target audience is niches within niches, right? So, like I said this before, I think I said this like a month or two ago, where what makes anime very digestible is that you don't have to put something in Demon Slayer that doesn't need to be in Demon Slayer. That already exists somewhere, right? So, like, say we're watching Demon Slayer, right? You don't have to know about the binary of a character per se. There's an anime for that. Right, I'm saying like there's an anime for like a non-binary character that exists in some anime that's similar to Demon Slayer, so you can go watch that. Right, there's a show about cosplaying, but also a romance. You know what I'm saying? There's an anime for that. It's called Dress Up My Dear Darling. Right, there's an anime about mecha and robots and stuff and crazy insane stuff that's called Fully Cooley. There's different genres of things that can fall under for like LGBT individuals, to people who just want shonen, people who want reverse shonen, or I think shoujo. There's
Red or something said I love indie games. I really like pixel or 8-bit games.
Yeah. And then there's all types of anime that caters to an audience niche like or broad. The problem with Western thinking is that they think if I take a show that's popular and put things that has nothing to do with show, people will like it.
Bright says shoujo.
Or shoujo, there we go, thank you. And then like they think if I take a show that's popular like a Scooby-Doo or like a Dexter's Lab or a Samurai Jack or Star Wars or some Disney movie or some Disney show, and I put some type of insane, nonsensical activist nonsense in it, it's still going to make money. Now, because, well, since Trump's back in office and all the other things that's happening now, well, most of those things are going out the window. And before even Trump was thing, they was losing money way before this was happening, before Trump's reelection. So what's happening is now most of these companies are looking for reasons to get rid of, or they're doing a whole like wipeout of like any form of activism whatsoever. This is what I said a little before the election. I said this. You guys remember, probably some of them who watch me long enough, who's been doing reactions and doing artwork. You know what I'm talking about. I said if I was a CEO of a company, especially a gaming one, you can usually tell who's the activist based on their Twitter account alone. Right? You don't have to come up to each one and just say, are you an activist? Are you for these things, X, Y, and Z? You don't have to ask them. They put the shit on their fucking Twitter all the time, or Blue Sky, where the fuck, right? So like from that point on, you're like, think to yourself, I can just fire you alone just on your Twitter account, right? But then again, this is what, like, and most of them can't help themselves based on the things that they say. That what makes it even more easier. You don't have to pry it out of them. They can't help themselves, right? Because they've been curated to think this way for the last 15 plus years. So because this has been happening for so long, these activist groups are just, this is just the norm for them. Now that's being disrupted. They're losing their jobs left and right now because things are not the same as it used to be. Cancel culture is not the same anymore. You can't, like, you can get away saying certain things now that you couldn't say before, right? So this is why this is happening now. And most of these companies wanted these people gone a long time ago. They just didn't know how to do it. Now they just have to blame it on COVID half the time, or something about the Trump administration, something to that effect, right? Or just overall how things has been going, right? So when they say things like some form of political violence is okay, that just gave the green light to most of these companies to just get rid of you almost instantly. You just made yourself a green light target just to get, no matter what your position is, because they have to take you out. Because if they can't, they're going to say, oh, that company is okay with these people saying these insane things, right? So it is what it is. It is what it is. That's just the gif of this. Perfectly. This is not about who's left or right, or Republican, conservative, or liberal. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the fact that some people say insane takes that is actually really insane, that can get people harmed. And because that was so curated for the last 15 years, it is now biting them in the ass that they can't talk the way they want to. That's why they're running off Twitter, running off YouTube, running off every platform you can probably think of. Now Twitter, TikTok, because of the whole Trump thing. I heard that he's changing the name of Twitter. I don't know. This man is trolling. This man is trolling. If you guys heard what they said about Trump and the whole what's gonna be it's gonna rename TikTok.
Read or something said this world scares me lol.
Like, it's like the rework, the renaming of TikTok. They said that TikTok's gonna be renamed to get this. He's gonna rename it. If possible, if the deal goes through.
Brightfroclose said what?
Yeah, they're changing the name of TikTok. So like, apparently this is what has been said. If Trump and what's his name? Jinping, I forgot his name, the Prime Minister of China. If things go exactly how things go, TikTok will be renamed to MAGA Talk. I laughed my ass off so hard. I was like, no, this man is not serious. This man is not serious. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Are you a dick? That's a dick move. Like, I understand this, man. Like, listen, I know this is Trump's last term, right? I know it's his last term. We all know this, right? So I don't know this man's just going out with a bang, completely just fucking with everyone at this point. But like, damn. Like, at this point, why were you calling it Twitter? I mean, TikTok.
No way. Look now.
Yeah, they said it's gonna be. Oh, not only is it gonna be called MAGA Talk, literally MAGA Talk, but like, it's also the For You page. It's not gonna be called the For You page. Get this, it's gonna be called the Freedom page. Keep that patriarchy in there. Keep that patriotism on set. I was like, you know what? I don't like the name. I don't like any of it. But I'm for it for the bloodbath. I want to see how people react to this. Like, I want to see if this actually comes through. Listen, I don't give a fuck for TikTok at all. I honestly don't. I don't give a flying shit about this platform, because this platform is giving nothing but hell on earth. So, like, whatever happens to us, hey, I don't care about losing almost 100,000 followers. That's not my loss. I don't give a flying shit about that. I thought at first I should have cared, but I don't care. And I'm not, when I say followers, I'm not talking about my actual followers. I'm talking about the number itself and overall being on TikTok. TikTok has been nothing but hell on
Victor
earth.
Dimitrov said, hey, are you artist?
So it is, yes. So it is. I don't really give a fuck. I was okay when it was getting banned. when it came back, I was kind of mad. I was
Victor
literally
Dimitrov
low-key
said
mad.
yes or no.
I already said yes. I was low-key mad.
Victor Dimitrov said, "Are you artist?"
I already said yes. Let me see. Don't you see the screen? Use your eyes, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Victor Dimitrov said, "Oh, okay, so."
use your eyes.
I said, "Hi, Artex."
Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, hi. Oh, hi. How you been?
Mono
Jaden
slash
says
said hello.
hello.
So yeah. So apparently,
Red or something said, "I think Terry said delay."
like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, TikTok is gonna be called MAGA Talk. The For You page will be called the Freedom page.
I said good.
So,
Bright Roclos said it, hi, long time no see.
but then again, this
I
is
said
not.
boo.
This is still not
Bright
full in
Roclos
stone
said it,
because
mono slash hi
they
mono.
said that if the deal don't go through, then TikTok will be gone completely, and there will be no other app. Now the only thing I'm kind of a little bit concerned about the
Mono
TikTok
slash
app
said it,
problem
Bright Roclos, hi
is that
Bri, WSG.
I don't think they're gonna let us carry our
I
followers
said it, Bright
to the
Roclos, hi
other
Bri.
app. I don't think so. I think they're gonna let us send our information over to the other app, like how Instagram did and Fanbase, which is a horrible app. I don't know anyone using Fanbase like that, but it is what it is. But I don't think we'll be able to carry our followers over. That'd be
Mono
crazy
slash
if we
said
could.
hi teach.
Hey.
Victor Dimitrov said El Mean Image Comics.
Let me see. So, but I don't think it's gonna be alright. I don't think we'll be able to carry our. We probably have to start from scratch from day one again. Eh. But this is the weirdest part where I never understood why people never like curated their work over to other platforms. I found it very weird when all y'all was like, "Oh, TikTok's gonna be gone. Where I'm gonna go? Fucking YouTube."
Mono slash said teach, I send you some of my recent work you asked for yesterday.
All right, I'll look at it in a bit. I'll look at it in a bit. But yeah, it's like I don't understand that. That was something that was really weird to me, where everyone was having a freak out on the fact that their TikTok was gonna be gone, and there's like, this is the only place I make money on. I'm like, bro, if your content's good, just resend your like take a week off or a month off. Say a month. Say a month. That'd be a good. A month off. Download all your videos.
I said if you didn't, I'll text you.
And then, hi. If I didn't, I'll text you. Okay.
I said Agwin.
Again. Re-download your videos, put them on like a terabyte stick. You can buy at Walmart for like $5.50. Well, I'll say $25. No, I think a terabyte thing is about probably $30 if I remember right. Probably 60. I don't remember. It's a pretty high number, but like pay $60 for the terabyte thing. Put it on your computer, and then send all your videos into that terabyte thing, so you have enough space for all of it. Because I know majority of you don't have enough for a terabyte, especially when they come in only in megabytes. And if they're very short, or a case may be, and then just re-upload everything on YouTube Shorts, and then re-upload everything on Instagram. And what's great about Instagram, for all you who don't know this, you don't have to wait and like space in your content. You can just spam that shit every minute. A lot of people don't know this, but you can just literally spam your shit on Instagram and you won't get flagged for that, because Instagram's against TikTok, so they want everyone over there. So if you're posting content, that's good, especially if your content's good. Now, you will have to do all the hashtag stuff, but there is a way to get around that. Literally use ChatGPT, make a template of what your make a template that makes it really easy for you to switch out and switch in whatever it is, especially if your niche is something really specific. That makes it much easier. So like, say you're doing like anime artwork, you make like have a template and tell it to the chat, to the AI, hashtag these for this specific thing because I do this, and usually it'll help you. It'll give you all the hashtags you need, most cases. Or you can use the AI that they have in Instagram. I don't like it too much, but then again, that's depending. And the number one thing about hashtags, they don't actually matter. A lot of people do not realize this, but it does not matter by the hashtags. What makes a video at least get seen around, for those who don't know this, you have to put in SEO keywords. So what that means is, say you're doing an anime artwork on, say, Goku, like I did earlier. I just posted it just today. say drawing Goku from Dragon Ball Super / Dragon Ball / Dragon Ball Z / Dragon Ball GT, right? That's the sentence. That's it. That's a two sentence, right? Then you go a hashtag saying hashtag Goku, hashtag Dragon Ball, hashtag Dragon Ball Z, hashtag DBZ, you know, so on and so forth. Anything relates to this particular post. Now, there's another thing that a lot of you don't realize what your content's about.
Mono said I'm never switching to Insta Reels or Yit Shorts. I spent 6 years building my TikTok algorithm.
Yeah, I know that, but like this is why a lot of you end up being on a boat, and then this is where you guys get fucked because all you just stayed on one platform. Never do
I
that.
said ops, I accidentally left.
It's not fine. I don't know if you guys leave or come in. I only know when you guys say hello. A lot of you do this. You guys get too in love with one platform.
Red or something asks, I have a question. You don't have to answer. But what is your opinion on AI art?
I don't like it. I don't like AI art. I think it just cheapens art in general. But then again, my opinion about it is it's a good thing because what's going to happen is it's going to be too accessible to the point that they will have to put a high stake of money on it. And what that means is that the more easier and convincing it is, the more the price hikes will get up.
Mono said that's called gambling, Teach. There's a chance you lose TikTok or don't.
No, it's best if you're on all platforms. You never stay on one. That's the gamble. If you stay on one and then say the company goes down, like let's say you're on Twitch and you stream only on Twitch, you don't stream on YouTube, you don't stream on TikTok, you don't stream on Kick, you don't stream on any platform. You've been on Twitch and you only build a following only on Twitch, somehow only on Twitch, which is crazy to do now, but like only on Twitch only. You have like say 25,000 followers and you have like 500 subs. Let's just say that. And that's how
Mono
you make your
said
money.
I art? You mean I image creating? I slop.
Yeah, it's pretty much slop. But like say you're on that platform only and that's how you make your money. What if tomorrow Jeff Bezos says we're selling the company to some Chinese place and then the money that you're making is not the same anymore?
Mono
Or
said,
maybe
sorry, I mean generating.
maybe they say like, okay, take since we're selling the company, or not even selling the company, we're gonna shut shit down because we can't hold up whatever the servers are too
I said
expensive,
if
what
I
the case
send
may
you
be.
my drawing, would you check it out or something?
No, you have to be a student. You have to be a student for me to look at that, because when I'll look at your drawing if you're a student. A lot of people tend to ask me that for advice, and then when I try,
Mono said if TikTok stays, China can have all of my info. They probably already have it anyways.
they probably do. But like the thing is about that is that the info thing is not the problem. The problem is people making money or making a following. That following can be eviscerated overnight, like tomorrow. Look at a lot of NSFW artists right now. Fucking glad I never went down that path. But I look at a lot of NSFW artists right now. Most of them are scurrying around trying to figure out how to make money because now.
Mono said I downloaded Red Note so they know where I live.
So like, I don't see the point of downloading that. That was a useless thing. Honestly, in my honest opinion, downloading Red Note is a waste of time. You can't really make any real money off that. And then if you could, like, that app's gonna be probably gone too, because if it's a Chinese made app, most likely it's not gonna last long too much. And then you gotta learn Japanese. Unless you know Chinese, then that's one thing. Have fun with that, or whatever the case may be. But the likelihood you're gonna make any real money on that will be fairly unlikely. But if you do, it may not last long. So like the point is, I always say is like be on different platforms, build and you can literally copy and paste everything I just said onto other platforms, right? Because the issue with a lot of you guys get too in love with one platform.
Mono said question, why are you glad? I mean, yeah, it's a little weird when you tell someone you do that for a living, but it pays well if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but that only depends on the company you're with. If the company goes down, then you're fucked. If that's your only source of income, then you're screwed. And this is why I will say, like, this is why I'm glad I'm not an NSFW artist, because if I was, I would have been scrounging around for money for right now, because most of them can't depend on Patreon anymore, because Patreon's cracking down on anything that is, like, obscene.
Mono said no, not that. The NSFW art.
Yeah, because now, because of people like Collective Shout exist, I don't know if the Trump administration has anything to do with this, but because of people like Collective Shout exist, a lot of game devs who make NSFW work can't make money because Patreon has been told by PayPal or other banks not to work with this because this is not, you know what I'm saying, they're not allowed to do X, Y, and Z. And that causes real trouble because if they're doing obscene art, obscene anything, you can't get the payment process won't
Mono
work
said
with you.
yay, but there's a lot of different payment methods. Plus, most of them post their art on the website. If you know, you know.
Yeah, but then again, that's going to last so long. Because if one does it, eventually all of them start doing it. Because if PayPal start doing it, which everyone can use a PayPal, then it's eventually going to go to Visa, MasterCard, and on and so forth. And then you can't make none. That's why I never defined. I'm glad. No, I didn't even know that. I'm just glad I never went down that path. Because I would have been in some real shit. So that's why I never went down that path. Now, if you have someone who directly pays you, that's one thing. But then again, it's another thing when it comes to like digital currency and to that point where you're using like PayPal, Visa, credit cards, and all that stuff, because these people they control banks, and most of the time they'd be like, you're drawing something that looks a little too lolly there, or a little too strange, or a little too like furry. When it can't process your payment because it goes against our guidelines, our policies. That's what they'll say. And then you can't make no money. Then you're screwed. That's why most people are mad at Collective Shout for this very reason. Because it only takes one bad Karen to ruin a whole like livelihood of many people. It takes one or a good set of Karens just to hit a whole beehive of people who had their lives totally taken over overnight because of some crazy individual who don't play their games, who don't interact with such things, who are bad at being who's bad at policing their children because they don't want to. So they think it's their job to police everyone instead of the children that they have. See how insane this is? And that's why I'm glad I never went down that path. But yeah, I think majority of y'all have to stop focusing too much on just one platform. You guys need to learn to diversify. You see how I stream on several different platforms. Now, am I getting a lot of follows? That depends. But when I'm doing like
Mono said that's where you put a line. You only draw these things and these things only. No lolly and stuff like that. Creeps that like those should disappear anyways.
True, but then again, Collective Shout is not going to take the time to know who's a creep and not. Once they see obscene unhornedness in the slightest, you can draw the most old lady looking individual that is in the bikini. The fact that it's in the bikini, that's where the problem comes in. It doesn't matter if how much you might think the drawing is like adult worthy. You can draw the most adult looking thing in the world. Like it could be like the most masculine man in a Speedo, or a man just straight up naked, masculine as hell. The fact that he's naked, they already have a problem with that. They don't like that. That's how they work. They don't care about how you're trying to be, because remember, they're trying not to censor children. They're trying to censor adults. The focus isn't children. They're using that as a reason to get to you. They're not trying to. They're using the children as a literal Trojan horse to censor you as an adult. Because they're shit parents. Or they just want control. It's either one of those two things. Or both. So even if I'm playing a GTA game and I'm 30 years old, which I am, they're still trying to censor my GTA game. Not because little Jimmy's going to play it. They're just going to use little Jimmy, who's going to probably play it. But that's just a shit parenting on that end. But they're not going to look at the parent. They're going to look at you. And they're going to look at the game devs as the problem. Not the parent who isn't watching little Jimmy. That's the point.
In here, in 2021, Bungie went full-blown crazy with things like DEI, and then they hired a bunch of people who clearly were not qualified for the job. They even at one point had a DEI officer in department, and that made sure that people had equitable hiring practices, which in theory may sound good, but with most...
They asked for your id thing.
Correct.
The thing that everyone was talking about for a bit?
Yes. That's literally what every YouTuber has been... Well, anyone who's been paying attention. Every YouTuber, they're not using it to take care of kids, because if they were so caring of kids, you know what YouTube should have just turned to? The fucking Collective Shout, or like, I don't know, the Trump administration. We have a website called YouTube fucking Kids. No one uses it. Why have it if we like that? Make it make sense. Why am I giving my information on a website that's not really meant for kids when there is a alternate same website for kids? They have SpongeBob over there. They have My Little Pony over there. They have all types of cartoons and shows for children.
Check isn't bad for that, but the thing is it's violating your privacy.
They don't care. That's the whole point. So it's two things. They're trying to censor you to look what you're doing. But they're using the children as a reason to get to you. They don't care about those stupid kids. They don't care about those fucking kids. This is not about kids. That's just a lie just to get to you. That's literally what that is. They want to see what's on your hard drive.
Said the problem here are parents.
Yes, the problem is, like, that's part of the problem. I think that's 50% of the problem. I think the second is just government overreach because they want to watch what you're doing.
I think they also censored My Little Pony to go over on Yit Kids lol.
They have any cartoon that's like meant for children is over there on YouTube Kids. So it's already bullshit why they're even trying to do this for stupid kids. We're trying to figure, and you know what's wild? These kids can just take their parents' ID and just literally go up on YouTube and just use it real fast. Like, it's not like they have to.
Said visit
like,
Artextric,
it's not even that funny. It's like, it's not that hard for them to do that. Like, and most parents are not give a fuck.
DEI nonsense, it's pretty much just a smokescreen that really means that we're hiring people on things like skin color or gender over, talent or experience. Of course, I'm not saying if you're not white, you can't work at Bungie. Of course you can. But can we at least be hiring people who are amazing at what they do as well, and not think if they just hit an arbitrary DEI initiative number or something that's enough to get hired? Because if you ask me, it's actually more racist that Bungie would hire someone based on race than talent anyways. Because it's just showing that Bungie and other studios like them actually only see their employees for their physical traits alone and not what they can do, which, if you ask me, that is actually even worse than what they had before.
That's more racist than it is.
Bungie would eventually nuke these DEI initiatives about a year or so ago, but the effects can, still be felt clearly to this day. Because amidst those mass layoffs, they also, like I said, got rid of talented developers too that genuinely deserve to be there. One of the high-profile layoffs was Luke Smith. That's this guy here, who was the director of many of Destiny's best expansions and then some. And another major layoff was Mark Noseworthy. That's this guy in the white t-shirt. He was the vice president of Destiny as a franchise, and he was key to ensuring that the franchise was in a good and healthy position. How do you fire the guy who's in charge of the franchise that had all these amazing hits behind it? Like, in case you don't know, okay, as like people who play Destiny that are watching this, they know that both these guys I just mentioned, they led Destiny for years. How did they get laid off? Yeah, you clearly then kept other people.
Pony made by some fan, there's a high chance some pony will get a huge belly or something.
A huge belly? Is that vor shit y'all be doing? That vor shit? Is it? I usually see that with furries for some odd reason, especially the Sonic fandom. Well, I want to say Sonic's a furry, but then again, you get what I'm saying.
People who were not nearly as qualified. And now look at what's happening to Bungie. My little conspiracy theories that probably Pete Parsons specifically targeted these guys to be let go because them being there was likely a threat to his reign. But it was all pointless anyways, because now with Pete, Luke, Mark, and more all gone, Bungie's just left to pick up the pieces while their leaders, both good and bad, are just out the door. Like, go look at Marathon. That game is a mess too. Another mistake of game development that has had nothing but terrible controversy over controversy for years. Remember when Marathon got caught stealing art assets more than once, or how Bungie had a secret content creator playtest like a few years ago? And then not a single one of those content creators said that they would play Marathon if it was released tomorrow? Like, that's a big yikes dude. But Marathon's just another ticking time bomb for Bungie because they've invested so much into it already. And it just seems like no one who has played it is excited for it at all. Frankly, at this point, Marathon seems dead on arrival in its current state. And likely when it does release and falters and probably becomes another Concord, if I'm being honest. It's also bad that Marathon will cost actual money.
I'll answer your video when, your pictures one after stream.
To play as of now anyways, when it should be free to play at the very least if Bungie wants any chance of their extraction shooter surviving its release window. I mean, based on player reactions and more, Marathon is just a bare-bone version of Destiny Destiny 2's patrol zones. And that's just pretty much being sprinkled with some PvP content, and they're calling it a day. It's frankly not unique enough as of now to warrant its own experience. Sure, it has an interesting art style that it allegedly stole completely during that huge art controversy, but Marathon is frankly just cooked even before it releases now. And all of this was okayed and signed off by Pete Parsons too, by the way, so it's even more frustrating.
Just to be clear, I'm not for AI art, because that shit is, I think it defeats the whole purpose. Also, I think what makes it at least a good thing is that the more accessible it becomes, the more likely it's going to end up being expensive. And the more expensive it becomes, it'll go back into the pockets of actual artists. Because you think these companies are gonna keep it like $10 a month or $5 a month? Fuck no. They're gonna put it at like 40, 50, 60, probably in $100 a month, just for you to get as many AI images as you want. So like for instance, you get 100, it'll be like $100 like in the next I'd say 5 to 6 years, it'll be like $100 like a month just to have like say Midjourney or something, and then $100 to have like I don't know 100 usage. I think it's like generations.
Red or something asks, do you think that I will get its own art section or category or art?
What, an AI art? Yeah, I can see it happening. Yeah, I can see that happening. It will. I'm not even gonna put it past like it won't. But right now, I don't think it will right now, because right now Midjourney is being sued by like almost every other company right now. And because of the possibility of using other people's IP, like Disney and stuff, and they don't like that. So till government overreach comes in, then that might exist. So how that's going to probably work is that what's going to happen is Midjourney is going to be told, or the people at work at Midjourney is going to make it their mission to put in code that they can't use any IP licenses unless someone pays for a license. And that license might be mad expensive. So like say for instance, you want to use Mickey Mouse, you want to use Scooby-Doo, you want to use any anime character, One Piece, Luffy, you know what I'm saying, One Piece, Goku, you know what I'm saying? If you want to make any type of One Piece AI art from this point on in the next couple of years, you have to pay not only for the Midjourney subscription, but you have to pay for the Midjourney business subscription.
Red or something said, I did a project on what would happen in 10 years. I still think people wouldn't like or approve of it still.
I don't think so. But then again, it's like, I think what's going to happen in my head, because it's kind of happening in the crypto space, where I kind of realize that whenever you try to get into like crypto, like subscription, like based stuff, they're really expensive. Like they're like if you want to get into like crypto stock shit, like subscriptions, and you want to know what the software and stuff, they're usually really expensive. Not like $10 a month. They're kind of like 200 plus whatever a month type shit, because I guess in that particular space, people can make sums up to a lot of money within like a couple of minutes to seconds to hours and days. So they kind of expect, well, if you can make at least $400 every week, or might as well say we take $100, $200 a month. You know what I'm saying? That's how they look at it. So what's going to happen with AI stuff is that in the next couple of years, I'll say in a couple, I'm not even going to think in the next 10, I think in the next couple of years, Midjourney and all these other companies that work with like AI stuff, and especially if they're going to be doing AI animation, it's going to be really expensive. It won't be $10 a month. It's not going to be $20 a month. It's not going to be $50 a month. It's going to be $100 to $150 plus a month. That's what's going to happen, because if you can pull high quality art, or high quality, I don't even call it art, but high quality slop, high quality, like realistic looking animations, and like, like movies and stuff, you can make movies out of stuff. You don't think they're going to charge you a high penny for that, especially if you're going to probably end up being famous for that shit? Fuck yeah, they're gonna make you pay for that shit up the wazoo, especially if you make a lot of money off like social media or a case may be. So it's going to be like 150 plus in the next couple of years a month just to run like Midjourney or something to that degree. It's cheap now, but once it becomes too accessible for everyone that is so convenient, it's going to be super expensive. And that what in return, in reverse, that's going to let you, that might put money back in the pockets of an actual artist who's going to undersell under Midjourney as much as possible to get as much clients as possible. So that's gonna work in a weird net. It's like a net negative. Like it's negative for artists right now, but then again, it will be positive in the long run because if it becomes too expensive for the average person, then that'd be like fuck. I don't got no money and I can't draw. So I might also just hire someone who's a lot cheaper to compared to Midjourney now. You know what I'm saying? All the people who talk crazy shit saying, "Oh, I don't need an artist. I can just, um, I can go Midjourney." That person is usually broke. That person is usually broke. Because if they don't have the time to at least learn how to draw, but they have the time to spend some
Red or
money.
something said honestly, that's really smart. I never thought about how AI might be costly lol.
Yeah, it's going to be costly because it's convenience. I remember my friend said this a long time ago. He said, I remember he works at a water park, right? It was an indoor water park. And I asked him, how come in the food court at the water park, why is it so fucking expensive for like chicken tenders and like fries and a burger? Why is it like almost 30-40 bucks? He's like, because you're not paying for the food, you're paying for the convenience. And he said, and I said, what does that mean? He said, convenient wise, that you're not only eating at the place, but you're also at the water park. So you're paying more taxes because, well, we have to run this place. You're not even just paying for the cafeteria that's in the water park. It's the water park, the arcade, the other restaurants that's in here, the fitness place. It's a whole like everything. The zoo, the convention on the side where we have anime conventions. You're paying for everything because it's convenient, and plus it's a hotel at the same time. So all these things you're paying for in that burger that you're paying for. You're not paying the burger. Yeah, you pay for the burger, but you're paying extra for this place. So that's how that works. So the more convenient something becomes, the more expensive it will become because it's in demand. So more people in demand because a lot of people are too lazy or they can't do it because of, well, life, or they have no arms or no hands, or they're just lazy. Let's just say lazy, because even if you don't have no arms or no hands, there's people still making art with their mouth. You know what I'm saying? There's a person right now with no arms, no legs, and he makes like artwork with his mouth, and I think with his tongue, or with his tongue, or not his tongue, with a brush in his mouth, and he makes major art, way better art than I can. So like that tells you right there, those people are lazy. Or if they don't have time, they just don't have time. But they have an idea, but they don't want to pay no one. But then again, they want high quality work, but they don't want to pay no one. So they'll go to like Midjourney and try and make it work. But once Midjourney becomes too expensive for them, which price hikes will go up because things are just going to get more expensive, given like war and everything that's happening, inflation and blah. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be $5 a month. It's not going to be $10 a month. It's not going to be $20 a month. It's going to be $100 plus a month. Anything digital wise, $100 plus a month. Especially when Sony, Disney, and all these other companies are suing Midjourney right now for the IPs that are being used in their systems. So what's going to happen is you're going to pay for Midjourney just to have the license to use Midjourney, and then you have to pay an extra, say, $1,000+ just to have the business license so you can make your Scooby-Doo drawing of him, I don't know, breakdancing next to, like, I don't know, Michael Jackson or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that it's gonna get to a point where I just paid $1,000+ or at least $500+ just to make Scooby-Doo do this. I was better off paying some fucking no-name artist who will probably have me pay it for like $150 to $200 just for a GIF. So in a weird way, this will, in reverse, this will bring back artists like never before. Well, digital artists and probably traditional artists, but mostly digital, I will say. So there you go. So this is why I don't fear it too much, but then again, it is annoying, and it's right now a current problem because of the IP issue, because it's easy to get a bunch of views when you can use a Luffy in a 3D sense, or like a AI sense, or a Goku, or like a Gojo, you know what I'm saying, and make them look realistic, or make them look like real people and stuff. That's easy. That's hard to go against. But once that becomes too expensive, it'll be gone. It'll be long gone. Or it won't be as present, let's put it that way, because people find ways to get around that. But like, it won't be as present, because what's going to happen is that once you post those, and I think this is going to happen to Instagram, TikTok, and so on and so forth. This is why they have, is your thing made of AI? What's going to happen now is going to be like this. Okay, so when you post a video on Instagram or TikTok, it asks you, or YouTube, is it made with AI? And if you choose not to disclose that it's made with AI, not only that the video might be terminated, it might play against you in the long run. And the second thing is that because of the IP problem, it might have I can see it happening in the future where they'll ask you, do you have a business license that is using any IP characters that is known to be famous, or known to be like with any companies, so forth. So it could be like a Gojo from what was it called, from oh my god, what's the studio called? I forgot the studio's name. But like from the studio that makes Jujutsu Kaisen, or the studio that makes Bandai, that makes Naruto, or well, I think Bandai, or that's associated to Naruto. Let's just say that. Or Shonen Jump, or whatever case may be. If you don't have the license for this, not only that you'll be terminated, but you'll also face repercussions by using IP that you don't have any type of, or legal ramifications that you don't have any ties to. So you think you're gonna upload your meme video generated AI slop of Gojo doing something insane, or like Naruto saying something insane. No, that's not gonna be lasting too long, because once that starts happening, you're gonna get a giant lawsuit up your ass. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. And then because of like the whole ID thing that's happening now, that you have to give your ID, and what's going on in the UK and stuff, that's gonna make it more harder for you to get away with it now. Because for you to have an account, you have to give an ID. For you to have an account, you have to have a digital ID. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you know what I'm saying? It's gonna end up bad for most people who are trying to be a meme account. Anyone who's trying to be like anonymous in any way, it'll be very difficult for anyone. So
knowing that this ex-CEO guy, he pretty much just said make all of these bad mistakes to these franchises and then spend millions, and then he's like, okay guys, peace, and then he leaves. Like, you can also feel resentment through the screen from ex-Bungie employees when Pete Parsons left with his golden parachute, as Griffin Bennett, a former Bungie worker, said this via Twitter when Pete left. Vested stock cleared, damage done, but hey, we're all family, right, Pete? Oh yeah, the people at Bungie, they hated Pete for sure. But here's more comments of people saying you should hate Pete more, or joking which vintage car he'll buy next with his payout bonus. Like, look at this exchange between that Griffin guy and some users. I think it's time to move on. He made us all have to. It takes a villain to run an IP like Destiny into the ground. If only companies had elected officials they could remove like villages. Oh, yeah, they definitely hated Pete Parsons, all right. But what can you do about this? When most of AAA Western video games is just full of like a dozen Pete Parsons that are all running these companies into the ground like this out of greed alone. Nintendo, for example, is pushing for expensive games, slicing the content from their own games to sell them back to players for more money in DLC when these games release, like Pokemon. Sony has completely lost the plot. It has released multiple agenda-driven video games that don't sell as well as previous games. Look at Spider-Man 2 and more. And they're now pushing for more live service slop and have canceled more games in-house than they ever released during the entirety of the PS5 generation when you compare it to any other PlayStation generation in the past. And then Bungie, which was once the home of the premier shooting experience, has now been overrun with activists, greedy, out-of-touch weirdos, and has gone from being a part of Microsoft to being independent, to joining Activision to being independent again, to now being bought by Sony, the competitors of Microsoft, and they're now cratering financially and critically, and really, let's be real, only existed all at this point due to the lifeline that has been given to them by Sony PlayStation. If Bungie were independent during all of these layoffs and more, especially this Edge of Fate release, which has been nothing short of disastrous, and would have honestly ruined and closed other studios already, what hope does Bungie have, or really many of these AAA studios these days anymore? Like, the rot has hollowed out the corpses of these companies so much, they're just zombies at this point. The fact that you can buy something like Silksong for the price of a single armor bundle in Destiny, how—
Bro, you have no idea how insane that is, though. Like, I said it the other day, like, playing Silksong is like playing like a mini GTA. When I say GTA, I'm talking about scale. I'm not talking about, like, you know. But, like, it has that, it has scale, bro. It has scale. And it's like, it's a bit overwhelming, to be honest, because every time I thought I was going to be done with the game, something pops up. A new map pops up. A new region pops up. I'm like, bro, let it end. How big can this bitch get? Every time I think I'm done, nope, there's more.
How is that okay? How is that even justified? And when you look at Bungie's catalog now between Destiny 2 and Marathon, on paper anyways, they should be doing amazing. You have an exceptional science fiction universe that could expand in so many ways, but instead it's just being held back. It's being ruined by greed, stupidity, and DEI still, and the same things that have ruined other studios already, from Volition with Saints Row to Rocksteady, and even smaller ones like Mimi Games is seen here with Shadow Gambit, where they had to close down the entire studio after their Sweet Baby Inc. game ruined their financials. I wonder why. So look, the point here is that Bungie should be a cautionary tale for the entire industry of how a studio that was once so prestigious, that used to be a rock star level quality wise back in the day, has now been reduced to what it is today due to a myriad of bad decisions. When Destiny 1 first came out, dude, Bungie was on top of the world. Like, no one thought that they could outdo Halo 3 or even Reach. I mean, those were some of the greatest first person shooters ever crafted, especially when they came out. But then Destiny 1 comes out, and despite its issues and development hell woes, it was a roaring success. If you don't remember, as seen here, Destiny 1 made an eye-watering $500 million in revenue within 24 hours of launch back in—
Yeah, I think if a game makes that type of money within like a week, or like $1 billion, kind of like what GTA did, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think every DLC from that point should be free. It should be free. 500 million in 24 hours? Bro. The month just started. Or at least if it's at the end, it hasn't been a month. Oh shit. At the end of the month we'll be a billionaires right now. So might as well make everything free at that point. I think that makes sense. If it hits 50 million to $1 billion within that range, I think every expansion should be free. Anything under that number, 500 million, should be, you gotta pay DLC.
In 2014. That's 11 years ago only. So at this point, it was the biggest launch for a video game and new IP in history, and solidified Destiny and Bungie as one of the greatest Western studios of its time. Comparing the hype, the goodwill, and the talent that was directly connected from the Halo days to Destiny there, Marty O'Donnell included, and then compare it to what it is now. You can't. It's impossible. Sony lost money buying Bungie for $3 billion or whatever it was, somewhere around there if I remember correct. But anyway, they bought Bungie believing that they were getting the Bungie that made Destiny 1 and Halo, but they instead got the Bungie that made Edge of Fate, and I guess Renegades instead, which is like a Star Wars themed expansion that's coming to Destiny soon as well. Just creatively bankrupt if you ask me. But AAA gaming obviously has learned next to nothing, despite being surrounded by examples of how to not do your franchises and your fan base wrong, yet they keep doing it anyways. It's very eye-opening to realize how the story of Bungie and how they ruin their core franchises correlates with the downfall of their studio as a whole too. Pete Parsons may have been instrumental in ruining Bungie. That is absolutely 100% abundantly clear. But when you have people in power now, like the studio head, who infamously said over-delivering is bad for business while routinely under-delivering, which then leads to profits failing and developers being thrown away like sacrificial lambs, I'm sorry, but I don't see Bungie recovering from this anytime soon. Maybe one day they could turn things around, maybe that's being optimistic, but apparently they also canceled Destiny 3 already, which was codenamed Payback just a few months ago. That was probably the only thing that could have maybe turned this around, which was a fresh slate with a new Destiny game from Bungie. Something to hopefully replicate the release of Destiny 1 in 2014 again, but live service development has Bungie devs on these hamster wheels, and it's seemingly impossible to get off of now. They'd have to pretty much just shut down Destiny 2 development and Marathon to focus solely on Destiny 3, but they'll never do that because Sony won't let them, especially not after spending what they did on them in the first place. But besides a Destiny 3, I really don't see things, getting fixed here. Maybe with the whole Destiny Rising thing, if it does well enough, they can take that team and expand it, and then they can make a Destiny 3 instead. That could actually be an avenue for good. But let the story of current Bungie and its failures be known that even the greatest studios can fall and become shadows of themselves. I feel for the people who made Destiny and whatnot into what it is. It must be really frustrating as hell to see what has happened, and I don't hate Bungie or want anyone to boycott them. Even if, again, their community manager blocked me, but one look at that guy tells me everything I need to know about him either way. But look, Bungie is the quintessential ship of Theseus in action. It is now Bungie in name only at this point, and unless something really changes, I frankly don't see Bungie even existing in 10 years' time. But that's what happens with ideology, gender nonsense, and corporate grief that stifles any way that your studio can even survive these days. But what do you guys think? Is Bungie done? Can they even turn things around? Would you even be confident in investing in a Destiny 3 if it happened, or even playing Destiny 2 right now as an option? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Bri, you still here?
Read or something said him back lol.
Hmm. Let's see here. Okay.
A cruel realization that you almost wish that it just stayed a dream. Have you ever?
Alright, so this is a video that I found. I guess this is an anime recommendation, but also a synopsis of this anime. Oh, manga. Manga or anime. I'll say manga. Manga recommendation. It's 17 minutes long. It's from Kezutsu Kami. Am I saying that right? Hold on. Let me check if that's... How do you say that? How do I turn
Read
off
or
that?
something said nice.
Hold on. Let me find something real quick. There you go. Alright, so this says
Kezutsu Kami.
Kezutsu Kami. Kezutsu. Okay, Kezutsu. Alright, just saying it right. Alright, let's start it over. Alright, hello everyone. My name is Artextric, and today we're going to be doing a recommendation reaction to Ketsu Kami. He has Ketsuru Kami, if I'm saying it right. He has 34.9k subscribers. He's giving a recommendation of this manga. I'm not really sure what it is. I like going in them blind. But it says here, the most terrifying depiction of magic in manga. I don't know what that means, but I mean, like, it's a depiction of what magic is. It might go left. So we're going to hear his recommendations, only 10 minutes long, and let's see where it goes.
Ever experienced the paradox where you started to doubt the dreams you were chasing? A cruel realization that you almost wish that it just stayed a dream? Well, this manga is kinda like that. Witch Hat Atelier presents this paradox in a very discreet way. I often hear and see people talk about how wholesome and cute this story is, which
I know about this. Okay, I know about this manga. Okay.
isn't wrong. It can be very wholesome and cute, but there's an unsettling side to the story that made me start questioning this reality. What started off as me saying, you know, that's low-key fucked up, an average of some numeric value that I don't have per chapter, started to just become, no, this is actually fucked up. So I think the best way to grasp where this paradoxical idea of mine comes from is by first telling you about another story involving a Greek piece of shit who goes by the name of Tantalus.
Is that really his name? Tantalus? Tantalus. Why does that name sound familiar, though?
Tantalus was a king among mortals, born from the gods, and because of this, he was welcomed at the table of Olympus to dine with them. He enjoyed listening to them share their divine secrets and knowledge, but eventually, he grew a lust to know more from them. And so, King Tantalus's hubris led him to plan an act of deception by killing his own son and serving him as a meal to the gods.
Oh, Tantalus! I remember you now. Yeah, you cut. I don't know why. I forgot what was the reason. He cut up his son and started feeding it to his father, who is Zeus, and then everyone else that was his relative or someone that's in the Olympians. I don't know why the fuck he did this. It's some crazy madness. I don't know what it was, but when Zeus found out he was eating his grandson, he was not happy.
That's gross.
Yep, he was not happy. And he punished him by sending him to fucking the underworld, I believe. And then he revived. Then Zeus, if I remember right, Zeus revived his grandson. He could do that. Remember, because they died doesn't mean they can't bring people back to life, or whatever the case may be. Because remember, these are gods. These are not humans. These are gods. So they can do whatever they please most cases. There are rules to this, but you know. Remember, Zeus is the most powerful of all, so, like, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. So, when he found out that his son, Tantalus...
Read or something said, I love video essays and recommendations.
Yeah, like, I seem like that you guys like that when we do videos like this. But, like, when Zeus found out that his son, Tantalus, one of his sons, I think he has several of them, one of his sons, cooked up, diced up, and started serving him, his son to Zeus, he was not happy. He was pissed.
In an attempt to test their omniscience. But the gods, they weren't fooled. They quickly became aware of the gruesome act and banished King Tantalus to Tartarus. There he was in perpetual thirst and hunger while being constantly surrounded by water that would recede as he bends down to quench his thirst, and low-hanging fruit on a branch that would pull away when he tried to alleviate his hunger. Tantalus is the reason the word tantalize exists, which means to give someone hope only to disappoint them by not giving what you appeared to offer.
So
which
fraud.
now leads us to the question of, how does this present itself in what I call the Witch Hat Atelier paradox?
It's a little too long on that.
The story follows Coco, an ordinary little girl who absolutely adores magic because of a sketchy witch who sold a supposed wand, a picture book about magic, and a dream to her. A dream to one day become a witch herself. But for her entire life, she was told and even understood that she would never be able to use magic. Because in this world, you can't just become a witch, you have to be born that way. One day, while helping her mother at their shop, Coco meets a witch named Kifri who ends up offering to fix a carriage that broke. But instead of being able to see him work his wonders, Kifri asks Coco to do an important job for him while he fixes the carriage, and it's to make sure that nobody tries to catch a glimpse of him casting the spell. Coco said, "Fuck that, I'm catching a peek," and what she saw wasn't a man casting magic with words, but drawing it. This entirely rewrites the world that Coco thought she understood, and she begins to use the pen from the sketchy witch to draw magic of her own. Eventually, she spammed enough spells to get a basic idea, but wanted to draw them much neater, and so she started to trace the magic in the picture book she got from the sketchy witch.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
The spell that Coco drew turned her mother to stone and jeopardized her memories being erased by Kefri, as it's the one great rule for witches to hide the fact that anyone can use magic. But as a secret exception to help save her mother, Kefri lets Coco keep her memories so she can study magic and live out her dream of being a witch.
I think the suspensions are a little bit too long on the suspensions, but whatever.
Next to those giant fire-breathing aerial lizards that we call dragons, magic is probably the world's most universally understood fantasy. I mean, in every mythology, folklore, and fantasy-based story, magic exists in some way to aid an individual or community. In which Hat Atelier, magic is taught to be a tool that innovates life and creates joy, and unironically, the magic system that Kamome Shirahama creates for the story is probably one of the most innovative concepts that is so well thought out that you, yes you, every single one of you beautiful human beings, excluding Dylan, can literally identify what a magic circle will do based on its 3 building blocks. The middle sign is called a sigil and determines the element of the magic. The arrangement of signs around it determine how the magic will be expelled, and closing the circle that surrounds all of that will activate the magic. But that's just the basics. Let me tell you how deep this shit really goes. With advanced spells, you can use a connecting line between magic circles to link them and change the potency as many times as you want, or completing the circle on a separate object so you can toggle the magic on and off, or creating smaller magic circles within a big one to combine their effects. And to think that this is just the surface of what people were able to identify in this.
God dang. Holy moly. What a magic system. Simple, but yet complex. And I think that what makes a lot of like power systems really fun in anime. They're very diverse. Based on how they are set up and how they're utilized. Kind of like a video game, right? Like most power systems are seen like a video game. Some are very similar to others. Others are a lot more different from others on how they're used. But like, that's different. You need a piece of paper, you make a sigil, you make the symbol, and then you make something around that, and then you make a circle to activate it. But you connect it to other things, it ends up being something much more. That's kind of cool. It's simple, but yet dangerous, I guess, because if something doesn't make sense, it might, I don't know, explode or something.
The series thus far is actual insanity. Holy fucking shit, do not let me draw ever again. This magic system is very different from others. I mean, you quite literally have the ability to understand what it must feel like to craft your own magic. Obviously, you're just going to get a piece of paper with some fucking doodles on them if you try to, but that doesn't stop you from having an idea of what the magic circle you drew might do. You're straight up handed the ability to grasp its endless possibilities and understand what this story means when they say that magic exists to innovate life and spread kindness. Except endless possibilities also mean the opposition of what we're told exists, and out of everybody, Coco is one of the few people who understands that most. Forbidden magic are spells that exist for the intent of harm or personal gain, teleportation spells without a vehicle or door, spells that are explicitly used as a weapon, and any spells used directly on the body or even written onto the body, including those that heal, are considered forbidden and are taboo in the world of witches, with the only exception being the spell to make people forget. Magic is a tool of manipulation. As much as it's preached to be used as a tool for good by those who want to protect the stability of the world, that inherently comes with deceiving people. In fact, there's plenty of unfortunate examples of this in the real world. They don't call them magic tricks for the fuck of it. They call it that because deception is the foundation of magic.
How did you do that?
Very well, I thought. It's sleight of hand. To explain the tricks to you would give you one solution, but it wouldn't give you all of the solutions.
In this story, when magic is used with seemingly good intent, it's usually mixed with some ulterior motive and by people you would least expect or even forget about because of how much optimism they shine on the story. There's an incredibly impactful moment where Coco feels like she's out of options and starts to make her way to the Tower of Tomes, a place that Kefri mentioned to keep logs on every piece of knowledge that exists. exists. And that's where Coco hopes to find a way to save her mother. Eventually, Kefri finds her, tells her everything is going to be alright, and tries bringing her back. But that's when we learn about how conflicted Coco's become with her entire journey of magic so far.
The more I learn about magic, the more uneasy it makes me. The more I study, the more things I'm told I mustn't do. What if no matter how hard I try, my work never pays off? I worry that when my hands fail to find hope, when they end up grasping at thin air, that I just might begin reaching for things I shouldn't.
What follows this is Kefri explaining how although magic is something that manifests hope, it itself is not the answer to every solution. The avenues for hope exist in the mind of a witch. Magic only thrives when a witch is able to put pen to paper in imaginative ways, and that's what makes magic magic. You see, I loved everything about this moment. It was wholesome, inspirational, served as a real tipping point in Coco's character, while also making me realize how almost every single thing that's said in this manga makes you really start to think, who's lying? Kefri is an incredibly complicated fellow. He's got drip, is chill as fuck, can be badass as fuck, and more times than not, he is the ideal mentor. But because of that, I also think he is the most unpredictably deceptive character in the series by far. From the very moment Kefri was introduced and so forth, he was shown to have a side to his character that acted independently from everyone, a side controlled by radical emotions so strong that he...
I swear to God, if this character ends up having white hair, I'm gonna lose it. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Nearly...
L02 said, hey you art.
Hello. Like, I kind of noticed lately that...
Red or something said this manga looks and sounds beautiful.
It is. But, like, what's crazy about this, if this is going to end up being a person of, like, wisdom or, like, well, pretty much just going to be a teacher. If he has white hair, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. I'm tired of this. Every mentor now is, like, white-haired individuals from, Naruto, from Jujutsu Kaisen to, Dan. It's just getting insane now. I'm like, what the hell? What's with this?
Even distrust his best friend. Despite this, he actively is showcased as an incredibly good-willed person, with how he carries himself, the way he mentors his apprentices, and even his judgment on morally gray situations. It's really hard to not think that he's just a good guy. Except when you pair that with his suspicious mischief behind the scenes and monologues of inner doubt, it just creates this constant unease. Like, is he genuine? Is he selfish? Does he care? Does he not care? Like, what's this guy's deal sometimes? One moment he's the coolest motherfucker ever, and then the next he looks like he's willing to sacrifice an entire litter of soft kittens for a half-eaten cheeseburger. But Kefri isn't the only...
That better be one good tasting cheeseburger. I'm just saying that. I'm just... Get that cheeseburger.
Person in this manga that makes me feel severely conflicted. As the story further progresses, this duality in characters either develops in others or begins to present itself more blatantly. Every single character is as volatile as the magic that exists. This story that was once filled with vibrantly magical moments that words couldn't even begin to describe are now just periodically euphoric moments that are or bound to be shackled in sorrow. It constantly keeps me on edge, and I'm always caught thinking about how these characters are unaware of what's below each other's mask. But as this thought came to mind, I started thinking about this girl at work. this plumpy, short, middle-aged white lady that I'd see here and there as I day in and day out do the bare minimum of labor while my sanity is begging for my shift to be over with already. And this lady is very jolly. Like, I swear that to every single person in the facility, she will give the same gleeful good morning with a slight chuckle after every sentence in response. This, of course, made me start concocting a ridiculous hypothesis on if this lady has some sort of underlying hatred against the world that she wants to hide from people. Why do I think like that? What the fuck? But maybe she's genuinely just a happy person and I'm a piece of shit for assuming that, which is probably more accurate, to be honest. Just like how this guy can be seen as a piece of shit for assuming that this guy is associated with some objectively bad witches because of the magic circle tattooed on his chest. However, we actually know that he's a regular person who travels as a bard to make people smile.
I'm kind of just wondering, is the magic system only works on paper, or He said tattoo, so I guess it doesn't just work on paper. I guess it can work on any surface, guys.
So this magic circle on his chest, he's clueless of its origins or properties. But with context that felt entirely random before the fact, you know that it's a regularly used spell repurposed for something unknowingly sinister. Because of this tattoo, Dogdon is in a perpetual state of refreshing the moment he dies. Over and over again, he makes new memories only for them to cease to exist. Again and again, he's brought to good health, eventually succumbing to the same brutal wounds. And death after death, he searches for Kustis just to see him cry over his dying body once more. It's really fucked up. Not his fault, and was only casted on him because Kustis wanted to save his life. But because he violated the witch's law, he's not questioned. He's just treated as a dangerous criminal. I mean, this guy is not harming anybody. Not anyone innocent, at least. I mean, this knight heard some music while off duty, locked the fuck in, found the source of the song, and was like, "You fiend! Step away from the children and put that lucrative weapon down! It's a fucking loot, buddy." And that's not even the worst part about this whole thing. It's the fact that this guy is gay. No, being gay is not the worst part. Gay people are cool. That's why it's the worst part. He's actually a really good guy, but we only figure that out after he gets the short end of the stick. Every single time I chose to turn to the next chapter, to the next page even, I became more and more conflicted with just the smallest of side plots. And eventually I realized that for me, this manga didn't only manipulate its characters, it also manipulated me. It toyed with my emotions by what I can only describe as a triple pump fake that gets fallen for every time. How is a manga able to do that? Anyways, I think the main source of every conflict in this story, both figuratively and internally, is created because of the great law among witches. This grandiose law is meant to be the solution to an age of hurt caused by magic, when all it's really done is flare up more problems and be used as an excuse to not save people. Objectively, the restrictions that
First, I gotta watch that thing with Marvel versus Marvel Zombies later.
that exist because of this law is dumb as fuck. It's basically like cleaning the floor by sweeping all the soot and dust underneath the couch, except it's been done throughout multiple generations under that same couch. In Witch Hat, it's erasing the memories of people at every minor inconvenience in order to keep the slate of people who know about magic clean. And after generations of neglect, it's become the reason why Coco's ideation of magic is not what she believed it to be. The law meant to protect people robbed her of her childhood and her mother. You see, magic is the temptation that Tantalus seeked from the gods, but the result of this curiosity was low-hanging fruit and water before his feet that would recede as he'd reach for them. And for Coco, the fruit and water that's all around her is magic that can save her mother, but any attempt to reach for such magic is impossible. In the manga, Coco is still about 12 years old and is forced to be more than just a 12-year-old against some of the wisest witches. Just like how magic fuels manipulation, that wholesome outline blinds the fact that this story is really about how a kid is forced to grow up, how magic is like a wildfire, how hope feels like nothing but a means to an end, and how fate isn't defined by what life you were born into. Rather, it's defined by how you choose to embrace the circumstances and live out that very breath. This, I think, is the true message that this manga tries to convey. Witch Hat seems far from being something that'll have a conclusion anytime soon, and as a result, everything that's happened so far has felt bittersweet. But regardless of the awful circumstances, they still somehow end up finding peace in that, a peace completely separate and alien from the tantalizing existence of magic. Sometimes we look at things with this sparkle in our eyes, eager to one day grasp it for ourselves. Money, fame, achievements, whatever the fuck. But what I think this manga tries to say, and will continue to say as long as its story highlights that awe, is something along the lines of, hey, just make sure you don't get lost on the way. It can get rough. So sometimes it's good to acknowledge that the best things are already in front of you. And I think that's what led me to calling this strange conclusion of mine the Witch Hat Atelier paradox. Hi, somehow you made it to the end of this video, and I appreciate you for that. I'm gonna keep this shorter than I normally do, and I'm sorry if I sound weird because I just got my wisdom tooth fucking yanked out of my mouth, all 4 of them, and I've looked relatively like
All
this for the
4?
past 2 days that I've
Bro,
been
all 4? Holy shit. 4?
finishing up this video. And if my upload schedule leads you to believe that I am dead and I hate making videos, then there's this nifty thing called a Patreon that I have that you can join, and you will have access to a Patreon exclusive Discord server where I do give quite frequent updates. I do plan to do more with the Patreon in general, especially after this video that took me way too long for it to be a 16-minute video. And if you do, that means the world, and if you don't, that's okay. You're only just dead to me. And I promise there won't be as big of a gap for the next upload because I have actually been working on 3 projects as I've been working on this video. So expect them sometime within this year. I don't know. Also might be good to mention that you could possibly recommend me a manga and be a part of the next video if you can understand what the next video might be. Anyways, no quick whips this time. My mouth is sore. I'm gonna go. I hope you have a great day.
Alright. So that was,
Victor Dimitrov said watch the spawn.
let's see here.
Have you ever heard of the ship of
Victor
Theseus?
Dimitrov
It's
said
a
the
concept
Spawn
that
comics.
So that was, hold on, where was it back here? What the fuck? Okay.
Kitty
You were
underscore
chasing.
Moore said hi.
So that was Ketsuzuki Kami. Good job. It was a very good video, I'm not gonna lie. That was entertaining to a degree. I think some of the just quick
Victor
criticism.
Dimitrov said spawn it's Image Comics characters along Invincible Pit and
I think like I think right now like you did a great job on the video. The only issue that I had with it was just that see, this is 4 months ago, so I'm pretty sure he has evolved a lot more from that point. But like the parts where he's trying to make suspense took a little too long on some of them. It was almost getting to the point where it was like kind of awkward. But it is what it is. So yeah, so good job on that. So yeah. So with that said, like, so I share, follow, and comment. Hope you guys see this for the reaction channel, and I'll see you guys next one. All right, we did that. So let's see where we go from here. Ooh. TV Crash. Oh, I haven't seen.
Now the set.
Okay, let me go with this one. This is from Tippy. Hold on, let me get this up before I say anything. Let me see. Where are you? 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 Okay, there we go. Let me see here. Let's see here. I don't know, it should take so much of the screen. Alright, there we go. So, this is from Trippy Chris. I hope I'm saying that right. He has 100k followers. It says, Animal Human, the most disturbing horror manga you can't read. So we're going to see what that's about. This was a year ago, so I'm going to hear about this. See, the best thing about reaction to old videos, you don't have to focus too much on like if it's old or not. If something's good, it's good. It doesn't matter what time it was recommended. And yes, to answer your question,
The truth about a lot of horror manga series is that some of the best stories don't get enough recognition to get an English publication. However, most of the time, it's actual fans that translate the series that they love. But in rare cases like the series we're about to talk about today, Dobutsu Ninjan, or Animal Human in English, get neither one. For being talked about in articles and manga news sites, I'm just shocked that to me, you can't find any of these chapters online. You can find the full volume on Amazon in French, German, and Japanese, but even then it's a challenge to really find those chapters. So I did what people didn't want to do. I found all the Japanese pages and I just put every single page through Google Translate. So today I want to show you guys this uncanny horror series that you can't find anywhere else.
But if you guys want to see more anime content like this one, then why not go down and hit that subscribe button.
But without further ado, let's get on with the video. The series opens with a car flipped upside down, a man trapped inside calling out for his daughter Chica as footsteps approach. He wakes up in an unfamiliar room. Suddenly, a little pig dressed in human clothes enters the room, asking if he slept well. The man, convinced the pig is just a child in a costume, demands to know where his daughter is. The pig reassures him that Chica is safe in the lobby. Suspicious, but desperate, the man follows the pig and enters a room filled with more talking animals. He spots Chica among them. A deer named Anist, who appears to be the leader, warmly invites them to join for a meal. As they chat, the man insists that they leave to go to the hospital. But Anist persuades him to visit the farm first. Unbeknownst to them, the farm is a sinister place where the livestock are actual children. The father and daughter are...
Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no! This is... Oh, wait, let's see where this is about to go. This might get wild.
Locked up to determine their meat quality. Anist and his crew arm themselves and prepare to hunt down the duo. The scene shifts to the father and Chica escaping into the woods. They encounter a boy who seems off, and he suddenly attacks the father, calling for his master. A dog with a shotgun accidentally kills the boy instead of the father, allowing them to flee. However, the father is caught in a bear trap, and he urges Chica to run as he screams in pain. A hog tracks them down with the help of the bloody trap, sniffing around for their scent. The father hides behind a log, but the hog finds him and amuses about eating humans raw, even if it angers the leader. Just as the hog bites his ear off and prepares to decapitate him, the hog gets shot. Anist emerges, scolding the hog for his brutality, but ultimately forgiving him. The father is taken away by Anist, while Chica is found by a bear. The chapter ends with a gruesome twist. Chefs are preparing for a feast for the Council of Animals, and it is revealed that the meat that they were cooking is the father's body. The first chapter is a good introduction to this new world, a combination of what I think G-Men and The Most Dangerous Game would be like. Now, anthropomorphic animals in a horror setting seems like something that should have been done more, but the closest we have to something like this is Animal Farm or The Islands of Dr. Moreau. It's an original concept that honestly I would love to watch in a movie format.
Yeah, I think this would be good for a movie. The ultimate furry horror movie. I think this would be good. Like, another good CGI, charismatic actors. They have CGI heads and faces that, oh my god, that'd be interesting. I don't think that's ever been done before. I don't think so. We have the Wolfman and shit, but we don't have like real like anthropomorphic like. I don't think that exists. Huh. I would like to see this in a movie format as well.
The artwork is not bad, but nothing special when compared to most horror series, and it's also not over the top with its gore or blood. The scares here aren't from creepy imagery or the psychological horror or, like I said, the gore, but from its environment. The first chapter is very similar to how The Most Dangerous Game is played out.
Yep.
A hunter inviting prey over to his home to let them out and hunt them down for fun, but also for food. The thing that makes it scary is the fact that our protagonist is in danger and we, the audience, want to see them escape, building up the suspense and intensity of the story. With a simple concept, even without the broken translations, you can still understand what's going on within these panels. And with the father gone, I'm guessing that the story will be following the daughter next. However, it takes a turn that I never expected.
Oh, there's a part 2.
The chapter opens with the arrival of spring on the farm. a badger and a cat are pushing a large cart filled with children who are destined to become livestock. One of the children reaches out to the cat, begging for help, but the badger quickly intervenes. Once they reach the fields, the children are released, only to be hunted down by...
I think what's funny about this, it flips on its head, where we're usually killing animals and eating them. But what's wild about this is the difference between the animals, and this is where probably the interesting part comes in, is that animals can't talk. They usually cannot talk. You can see the stress in their body, in their mannerisms, but they can't talk. So the fact that your livestock can talk to you, you know exactly what they're saying, makes it a little, I think, a bit more, I don't know, sinister. It feels a lot more like upsetting to a degree.
A group of hunters. After the hunt, the cat and the badger head to a pub where they indulge in fried human legs and beer. However, the cat finds the taste repulsing and vomits after eating. The scene shifts to the next day, where animal children are taking a tour of the farm and its livestock. Anist instructs the children to stay quiet so the humans will turn around. He leaves the cat to guide the
it's unnerving, let's put it that way.
Children, showcasing different grades of human livestock. Anist discusses the village children with the cat, suggesting that they give the children a dissected human to study. As a child is laid out for dissection, the cat watches with discomfort and nostalgia, as if he has experienced this before. Memories of his past life as a human flood his mind, recalling Anis's cruel experiments and the fate of his daughter Chica. In a surge of emotions, the cat prepares to attack Anis, but is interrupted by a child offering him human meat. Anis walks away like nothing has happened, leaving the cat to grapple with his memories and rage. That night, the cat confronts the badger, demanding if he remembers being a human. The badger dismisses it as a figment of the cat's imagination. Wandering the farm, the cat realizes his true desire is to be with his daughter. His resolve is solidified when he stumbles upon a goat assaulting and a naked human woman.
Oh my god.
Enraged, the cat attacks, biting the goat's neck and tearing his mouth wide open. With a newfound purpose, the cat vows to kill every animal on the farm, starting his quest for vengeance and justice. The whole first chapter could have just been its own story. The narrative switch is pretty shocking, but not horrible. It reminded me of how like season 4 of Attack on Titan kinda did the same thing, following a new perspective, except that it's technically not. The twist of the father turning into an animal actually had me surprised, even though there were hints thrown at us from the beginning. The identity crisis and inner turmoil give a lot of character development to someone whose name we don't even know. His evolution from a passive observer to a vengeful avenger is compelling, driving the narrative forward and building the tension perfectly. As for Anis, he seems like the perfect villain for this series. He's more of just a political leader who would do anything for the survival of his people. There is still a lot to learn about him and the other animals, which is also keeping me from getting bored of the series. It keeps a lot of things hidden while still updating us on the world building and character development, just in small doses. The last chapter didn't have any gore or heavy blood, but in the third chapter, the gore appears for a reason, as it's the breaking point for the cat and it transitions perfectly to the next chapter's brutality. It's a great setup and continuation into the final arc of the series.
Interesting.
The scene opens with children playing on the streets, their laughter echoing throughout the neighborhood. One boy, out of breath, rests near a bridge. Leaning over the edge, he spots a hog's head bobbing in the sewage drain. Meanwhile, a council meeting is in session, led by Anis and other high-ranking officials. They discuss a series of brutal murders plaguing the village, unsure if the culprit is either a human or an animal. The bear insists that whatever it is must be brought to justice, regardless of what species there are. After the meeting, the bear heads to a tavern for a meal, but is ambushed by the cat, who stabs him in the nose. The cat attempts to hang the bear with a noose, but the bear fights back. Their confrontation ends with the cat dismembering the bear and stuffing his remains into a bathtub.
Damn!
The next day, the bear's head is discovered, and Anis retrieves the brain, burying the head for the funeral. Back home, he places the brain in a jar alongside others, mourning the loss of the only friend who knew the truth about their origins. Suddenly, A noise from upstairs interrupts him. A pig's head rolls into the view. The cat has killed everyone present at the feast from the first chapter, leaving only Anis alive. The cat confronts him with a shotgun and shoots him straight in the head. But before he can pull the trigger on himself, Anis intervenes, revealing that the deer that the cat killed was merely just a meat-filled doll. As the cat lunges at Anis, Chica appears. The cat tries to approach her, but she only just meows. Anis has turned her into a pet. In a final act of desperation, the cat charges Anis but is impaled by his antlers. As the cat claws at Anis's neck, Chica begins to remember her father. Despite this, Anis starts devouring the cat, eating its brain. Chica wakes up to Anis comforting her, explaining the origins of their kind. He tells her about Virgin Maiden, a goat altered by human scientists to reproduce without fertilization. However, needing energy to give birth, Virgin Maiden developed a taste for meat, particularly brains. After attacking a human, her offspring becomes a blend of human and animal genetics that require human flesh to survive. Anis conveys a town meeting.
Whoa, go back. What? Wait, what? Whoa, go back. What the fuck? Go back a little?
Goat altered by human scientists to reproduce without fertilization. However, needing energy to give birth, Virgin Maiden developed a taste for meat, particularly brains. After attacking a human, her offspring becomes a blend of human and animal genetics that require human flesh to survive. Anis conveys a town meeting, proclaiming the end of the killings and celebrating their unity as the sons of God, despite knowing that they were just man-made creation.
Why mainly humans though? Maybe it was the closest thing that was there. Maybe that was it. It was the closest thing that was there. Attacked a human, had taste for human flesh, took on human properties, and then that's from that point on. Because I have a feeling that if that baby were to attack any other animal other than its mom, it probably would have been a lot more ferocious than it'd be more human. That's what I'm thinking. That I could be wrong. It could be just for humans only, no other animal species. But like, that's what it feels like to me. Maybe because it was the closest thing other than the mother, so the scent of the mother gave was like not, like the pheromones or the pheromones that the mom gives makes it like attracted to or don't have any sense of wanting to eat or something like that. That happens a lot. So like,
he takes Chica to the basement to meet Virgin Maiden, who devours her. Then 10 months later, Chica is reborn as a baby sheep, and Anis plans to raise her until she is ready to be consumed. As Anis leaves to fetch a cake, Chica reaches out for some meat. Suddenly, a soldier bursts in with Anis's severed head and rescues Chica. Outside, an army of men is exterminating the village animals and setting the place ablaze. In a distant city, a joint meeting of humans and animals address the genetic issues plaguing the product from Farm E13. So, they decide to purge the farm. Farms like E13 are scattered worldwide, housing various virgin maidens to produce animal and human meat for consumption. A soldier forces Chica into the back of a truck with other animals. As the convoy heads to another farm, Chica stares at the burning village, whispering, "I'm hungry." Now, the final 2 chapters seem a little confusing and just a lot to take in. Not only did we get answers to questions we had, but it gave us an answer with an extra layer that we just never expected. To start off, Chapter 4 was a great read for people that just love the gory slasher side of horror. It was just a chapter of non-stop action and I loved every single second of it. As for the story of the cat and Chica, I'm very happy of how they ended his story. I wouldn't really change anything about it, to be honest. But the final chapter starts with the twist of Chica being alive, which is good, but predictable, except that I thought that she would be a human like her father instead of a pet. It also took a book straight out of Jaden with the origins of the animal humans. We kinda knew that it was going to be like a mad scientist experiment that created these creatures, but since they were stating that they were the sons of God and the perfect creation of God, I thought I was going to be wrong. But the reveal of the Virgin Maiden was one of my favorite parts of the last chapter. with a horrific design and origin, plus a terrifying scene of it eating Chica. However, it starts losing me once the village starts getting raided, and we see that the farms are just a worldwide corporation run by both animals and humans. Now, the translations at this point weren't that big of a deal. You can still kind of tell what the story was going with, even without really reading it, just looking at the pictures. But here, the translations from Google are a bit messy to read, and that's my fault. So I can't really get the full detail of this twist. But even then, I feel like that this ending needed a bit more of an explanation, not because it's bad, but because it's confusing and I really want to know more about this world. The final panel of Chica getting sent away to a new farm does leave it ambiguous to maybe a new story just from a different perspective, like from a new farm. But at the end of the day, I'm honestly satisfied with this ending. Animal Human is an unsettling but engaging horror series that deserves more recognition and a wider availability. Despite its limited distribution and it being challenging to get a fan translation, I believe that this series could be one of the best short horror series of the modern era. It stands out with a unique and original concept, compelling narrative, and an intriguing main character and villain. From the intense introduction to the shocking twist and emotional depths of the later chapters, Animal Human offers a darkly original experience that blends elements of classic horror like The Most Dangerous Game with thought-provoking themes of identity and morals. The gruesome yet captivating journey of the cat and Chica, alongside the complex world building and political undertones.
I know he kind of explained that what I don't understand is this. Okay, so he said that the animal bodies are just like meat puppets. Is that what he said? Meat puppets? But I don't think he really explained how that's possible. Because did you not eat him? Ain't the brain like dead? So what, you take the brain, you put it into a different animal's body or something? How does that work? Especially if it's because if Chica got eaten frontwards, wouldn't the head get the brain get destroyed? So how does she become a sheep? That's the part I don't understand.
Makes it a more memorable read. The ending, while successfully being intense from beginning to end, leaves room to expand on the world while still delivering a satisfying conclusion. For any fans of horror, if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend diving into the series, even if it means reading 170 pages of broken translated English. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. We are so close to reaching 5,000 subscribers, and to celebrate, we are going to be doing a live stream here on YouTube. So go down to the community tab and vote on what I should be doing on that live stream. And remember to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss another horror manga video like this one.
Okay, so that was Trippy Chris, if I'm saying that
Read
right.
or something said maybe by absorbing the thing, I think.
That's crazy. I don't know, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know, because how do you remember the memories and stuff? But anyway. So that was Trippy Chris about the Animal Human.
Bright Roclos said good video.
It was a good video. That was different from all of them. That was crazy. I don't know, I didn't expect that at all. At all. So, with that said, like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. Hope you guys enjoy this. This will be on the reactions channel. I think I just posted a reaction channel just today, so if you want to check that out, you can. But it's something that we did before, so you can go check it out. So with that said, we'll move on to the next one. Okay. Let's see. Very hard. What's the next one? I think people are saying that movie called Him is considered horrible. Let me see here. I'm looking for more. How about that? The most fraud. I'm looking for another one. That's why I'm just saying. Something that won't get me in trouble too much. There are not or no zombies. Relic. Here we go. Berserk villain so evil, banned from anime. Nah, not that one. That's oh.
I often.
Okay, so this is from Sufferance. I haven't seen him in a good time. This is made 13 years ago. For those who don't know Sufferance, he's a anime recommendator, like most of the ones I do most videos on. I do a lot of reactions to a lot of anime related stuff, but usually just recommendations because I like recommendations. It's because they bring you insight of something brand new that might be the next big thing, or it might recap on something that we have talked about before but brought new information on. Anyway, it says the greatest new manga so far from Sufferance. He has 173k subscribers. If you want to check him out, check them out in the description and all that great stuff. Let's jump into it and see what this one is about. This was made 13 days ago. So let's see what this is.
Recommend quite a lot of manga, but I rarely give you updates on how they're going. Today, I want to take you through some of my favorite that started off interesting and are currently doing very phenomenal things that I think is 100% worth your time. Mad is currently 32 chapters. If you're not reading this story, you are missing out. The opening premise of this story really hooked me. It's a post-apocalyptic world filled with aliens. Humans are struggling to survive, and the only way that they can fight back is by potentially becoming these alien hybrids themselves. To become that, however, the experimentation is disgusting, dangerous, and not many people survive it. This story often surprises me. I am a sucker for apocalyptic worlds, for humans struggling and fighting so desperately to survive, but also the hybridization when you take a normal human that has to evolve and overcome and adapt to this new environment and also new enemy. It's fairly simple in design, but its execution is what gets me. There's something clean and crisp about it. It's addicting to read, something that I look forward to every other week when it does drop. It manages to not only cover a lot of ground every chapter, but also convey a level of detail of emotion very similar to Tatsuki Fujimoto. There feels to be a bit of inspiration behind the facial expressions, the intimate moments, even the dialogue. 30 chapters later, it feels comfortable, like it's finally starting to spread its wings to explore more interesting ideas. One of the more recent ideas is more hybrid people, different groups and survivors that look at hybrid people as either their weaponry, their defenses, their kings or rulers, and in some instances, their god. A cult-like fascination with hybridization and humans becoming gods. A fanatic religion is starting to spawn within this world that only adheres to these godlike entities.
Bro, I can't, I love his videos, but it pisses me off sometimes. I can't take the videos to watch serious when he has all these memes. The memes are just like the gifs and the memes just throw you off. Like, oh my god,
rolling on the floor,
bro's looking at me up and down like I can't.
On the floor, laughing emoji, rolling on the floor, laughing emoji, rolling
I love his videos. Sufferance, if you ever see this video, I love your fucking video.
So the comment said agreed, the memes send you for a loop.
Just the stairs.
I know a lot of stories tend to follow a similar route, but truly there is something fascinating about how this story operates, and when it really wants to get sensitive and emotional and thought-provoking, it does it well. Its paneling, its execution is genuinely some of the best I've seen from an author that I've never really heard of. But when it wants to dive into action, it's chaotic and bombastic and super out there. The only thing that's realistically missing, and something that is only been slightly teased, is its aliens. Still to this day, you don't really know anything about them, how they operate, how they work, are they evolving, how do they view humans. You just know them as these impossible killing machines that took over the world. The focus has been on those humans and its development, and it's put a lot of things in place to carry the story rather far. Personal vendettas and grudges, really scary cult and fascination with hybridized people, and then the main character struggling to learn to become this new hybrid that he's forced into being. It is a wonderfully told story.
Yeah,
So
I kind of think of that too.
Incredibly entertaining. I really want more people to read it. So if any of this sounds interesting, please do go give it a read. Ashura's Verdict was a story that I wasn't really sure about. 19 chapters later though.
I'm so annoyed that, like, I said I was not gonna play no Silk Song today because, like, I wanted to get back doing some artwork. But even when I'm not doing no artwork, I'm not playing the game, somehow this game manages to get into my videos. Like, it's just, what the hell? Like, what is, like, bro, like, why does this keep happening?
Silver Comet said, "Give us your bananas," is stuck in my mind.
Oh yeah, give me your banana. Oh, what time is it? It's 6 something. I don't know. Maybe I might just jump back into the
Silver
game
Comet
later.
said, "You're obsessed, accept it."
Yeah, I guess I might jump back game later. I said I was not gonna play today. I was gonna take a few days off, but like, I just want to finish the damn game. I might just do it tonight. I don't know. We'll see.
It's definitely changed my tone. At the beginning, the idea is a little bit quirky. It kind of fumbles over itself here and there, and it comes across just edgy, over the top, and over dramatic. Those aren't the worst traits to have, especially if you know what type of story you're telling. For me personally, I don't really find those type of stories engaging, especially for a long period of time. The appeal tends to wear off. Ashura's Verdict, however, I think has started to change that, knowing that it can't simply rely on the mere shock value or the execution of its gimmick or idea. It's starting to twist it into something a lot more psychological, something horrifying, an investigation on top of it, trying to unravel this very weird secret. Basically, this boy who has been bullied and abused his entire life is a really happy-go-lucky boy. He wants to do right by the world, he wants to help people as best he can, and it's something that's been instilled to him by his mother. So whenever he gets the chance, he will try and do good. But the gimmick with this kid is that he never really shows any facial expression. You don't really know what he's thinking. He kind of just comes off as a blanketed, stale child. Until he finds a key. And this key basically allows him to send people that he deems worthy into hell. And by worthy, I mean people that he thinks are not doing good for society or for other people. All he has to do is implant this key into his victim's forehead, turn it, and a gate of hell will open up, and that person will be ripped into it.
Brightroclose says LMAO.
Like, let me think. Wait, let me think of this. So like, so it's technically Death Note and Hellgirl, if you think of it in that sense. I'm old bringing up Hellgirl. I know. I'm pretty old bringing that up.
Silver Comet said, "Kids are already crash outs. Giving that to a toddler is disastrous."
Right? That is disastrous as fuck. You know what? I would do the same thing.
Bright Roclos said, "Pretty much, yeah."
I would write the same story, but the difference is a YN. Have a YN have this, and he just uses it for the most horrific reasons.
Silver Comet said, I mean, realistically, who would allow a child to put a key on their head?
That's right? Give it to any YN. See what happens. I would love to see the anime manga spin-off of this or something to the same concept, but given to an actual YN with the YN mentality. My God, that shit will be insane. Like stupid shit. Oh my God, for the like pettiest of reasons. Oh my God.
These delinquents, bullies, abusers, horrible people just end up missing. So of course, the
High up somewhere they can't reach.
more people that start to go missing, the more investigators start to actually come in. And now it's starting to turn into a small cat and mouse game. This kid has not really thought about...
Oh shit, wait, go back. Hold on. Wait, I gotta go back.
into a small cat and mouse game.
Kind of feels inspired by this. Your boy's on his shit. I told you. Didn't see this.
Kids so they don't truly
I
pass
did
good
not
as
see
long
this. I'm telling you right. I did not see this.
Silver Comet said, I knew.
That was too perfect. That was too fucking perfect. I did not see this. I just made the comparison between Hellgirl and Death Note, and the one that pops up is Death Note at least. Bro, I'm on my shit today. Come on. Get on this level, bruh. Come on.
Game. This kid has not really thought about the ramifications.
You're not measuring my freak right now.
Or what he could or couldn't or should or shouldn't be doing. All he
Right?
thinks in his head is what is good.
This was made 13 days ago. I've been playing nothing but Silk Song for the last 5 days now? Like, Jesus Christ.
And it's so warped around the execution of this key that he doesn't really do anything else. The interest that I have for this story now is more people finding out about this boy, finding out about this key and actually witnessing what he's doing to these people. And you can imagine what that would look like. So more people are cautious. There's like an investigation team that...
Are you serious? The same one? The same manga that's being recommended? Or are you talking about like Death Note?
slowly trailing behind this kid, trying to figure out where these missing people are going, and even bigger gangs are forming around trying to figure out where some of their crucial members are going, because some of them are important. I think the funniest thing about it that always makes me laugh is that the kid never shows any other expression. Now he just seems more creepy, and something is happening. He's starting to contort and twist and be a little bit different, both in personality but also physicality. I like these recent developments, and I think it's shifted into a very fascinating story that probably won't go on for all too long, but is well worth your time. Check it out and give it a chance. Blue Proustian moment was a surprise, because when I read it, I didn't think all too much about it originally, yet 18 chapters later, beautiful. I have fallen in love with the simplicity of this story, the emotional vulnerability of this story, the telling of two sides between completely different worlds, and how these two young girls kind of navigate life together. It feels earnest, coming of age, inexperienced lifestyles merging together.
I'm sorry. What more do you want from me? My Shayla. My Shayla. I'm sorry. Seeing Tyrese cry is fucking funny. This man is pain. Yo, this man in pain gives me such joy. This meme specifically gives me such peace. That shit is funny.
That you wouldn't think would work together, but eventually they do, and really just exploring yourself as an individual. The story focuses on the relationship of these two girls, and one of them is incredibly rich. She's had a diamond-encrusted spoon in her mouth since birth. Her family owns a lot of businesses, they're incredibly wealthy, reputable, everybody knows them, and she goes to a very prestigious, all-girls school. But she kind of has a bit of a rough personality. She doesn't really have any friends. Everyone's kind of scared of her. She comes across what I would consider her opposite. Another young girl around about her same age that goes to a public school that has no money, that has seen the wars pretty much through her life, being abused and having horrible, disgusting
Hey, Emmy. Hi, Teach. How are you? I'm doing well. We're just doing reactions.
parents and genuinely just trying to get by, and they have this odd connection. There's tension at first, like a bit of weirdness between them, especially from the rich girl. Slowly she starts to...
One of these days, those two is gonna kiss in my head. Straight up. You can't be up on a dude's face for that long. I've been so...
Emma says WHATT.
Those two are going to kiss one day. I swear to God. Every time I see that meme, I've been slowly drawing, but getting there. Let's go, Emmy! Keep doing your drawing, son. Let's go.
Open up to this new girl and what she represents. They start spending more time together. They start to grow with each other. And while it's not inherently romantic, it's not trying to push itself as a romance story, the undertone feelings are 100% there. They're slow and methodical, kind of brumbles and blooms very nicely underneath. It's sweet and innocent. Honestly, it's a beautiful thing to watch their relationship grow, and 100% while reading it, I fall in love with these characters. I love their quirks, I love how they interact, I love what they get up to. The story doesn't really have a bigger plot, it's more just about them. Unfortunately, not a lot of people are going to know about this story, but if you want to read something that handles emotions, relationships, the difficulties between trauma sharing, but also just how they experience life together from different perspectives, this is 100% worth your time. It's very sweet, it's very beautiful, it's very emotional, and I love them together. When I first recommended this, I hope you went and read it, because at the beginning, it was interesting. A very cool premise, a very unique look and feel to it. The atmosphere was through the roof, the artwork was grungy and gross, and it was just brimming with this creativity. A random apartment complex that is stuck within this weird time loop at the end of the world, the final second before the world basically collapses and destroys itself into oblivion, and this apartment is stuck within this loop and is able to survive and even thrive. This apartment, however, is very complex, very all over the place, it's not normal, and the residents and all people within it have been in there for an endless amount of time. I did not expect the direction that this story would take, the creativity that it would come up with, and most of all, how it's visualized. I wish I could show you these beautiful, specific, and crisp manga panels that breathe so much atmosphere, so much life into this story. Arguably, with everything that's on.
Serious question, what kind of anime do you like? I like Gacha Akuta, or Gacha Yakata. I like Fire Force. I like Soul Eater. These are cousins and siblings at the same time. I do like My Hero Academia. I do like
Silver Comet said I do like those as well.
I don't like picking the mainstream stuff too much, because when they come mainstream, I won't say they become boring or dull or they get cheapened, but it's just overly used. Because a lot of people say I'm an anime and they just pick the first 3 mainstream shit all the time. They never.
Silver Comet said, I have something to tell you.
Oh, and also I like Jobless Reincarnation, also known as Musho Tensei, I think it's called something. And what do you have to say, bro? That one specifically, not isekai in general. I just like that anime specifically because I love the world building in that. I don't really care so much for the main character, but then again, I do like the world building. I like the magic, at least. We just did an anime about magic just, I think, 2 videos ago, and it had a very simplistic concept, but very interesting
Silver
way of
Comet
being
said
used.
Otter of the Flame might be a nice recommendation for you.
Ooh. Archer of the Flame. Let's go. Let's go. I might check it out.
on the market, this one stands out so incredibly well.
Is that what you have to say?
Like, you will not read anything like it in the current lineup. I love the characters. I love how Mason being like this.
It was created by a member of Horikoshi staff.
Ooh. Oh, wait, I think I know that one. Silver, the flame. Is that the one with the rabbit? It's like, it has like a, it's a,
Rick's official said
it was made by
support hero
Horikoshi. It was
today
one of his, like,
by
failed
using commands like
anime. Oh! I
Silver
like...
Comet said sadly their previous manga before it was cancelled.
Yeah,
but
it was
a gem.
cancelled.
It was called Red Hood.
It was Red Hood. That was it! That was from Horikoshi's assistant. So what's the assistants that have very similar art
Silver
styles to their
Comet said nah,
predecessors?
different one, but nice, you know that one.
Yes. There's Red Hood, or I think it's also known as I know it's called, or what was it called? Something Guild. Hunter's Guild. I think it's called Hunter's Guild, I think.
Silver Comet said Horikoshi made the rabbit though.
Rabbit. But yeah, I love a lot of animes, but like I just don't, or mangas, but like I don't like picking the mainstream
Silver
stuff.
Comet said Red Hood is the shorter name.
Because there it goes. Because like I don't like picking like Dragon Ball or One Punch Man or anything because they just kind of go without saying. I like picking the shows that, or at least the animes that falls into my category as favorite when they're not mentioned too much. So if say for instance, if you say, oh, what type of anime you're into?
Silver Comet said same here.
By default, I really like Dragon Ball. I really like My Hero. I really like One Piece. I really like, One Punch. I really like Demon Slayer. I really like Jujutsu Kaisen. I like Naruto. You know what I'm saying? Those go out saying. So when you ask me that, I'm not gonna give you those. Because that already goes without saying. Those shows, or Hunter x Hunter, or Yu Yu Hakusho, or whatever, or all Gundams, most Gundams.
Silver Comet said, "Oh, have you seen Galaxius or Colorless?"
No, I have not seen Galaxius or Colorless. Or anime or manga? I feel that's a manga response. I don't think anime specifically.
Young girl trying to navigate this apartment, and she's the new
Because like I know
landlord.
Galaxius is, they say it's like a not One Piece clone, but very One Piece inspired with the dragon guy and stuff, and the girl who's
Silver Comet said both manga.
Okay, so like yeah, I think Galaxius. I don't know about Colorless, but I know if this is the right manga I'm thinking of, it's like a dragon dude with orange hair and I forgot what the girl looks like, but I think she's like some kind of mail person. Like she's like she delivers mail on her island or something, and then he wants to go out into like adventure and she wants to leave her island. Kind of like it has a One Piece-esque feel
of it, so she has a lot of power, but not like enough controlling power to rearrange and change everything. But she's learning about this apartment. She's finding new things. She's getting into mischief, and it feels like this grand adventure story while uncovering mystery and kind of hidden plots and agendas to this completely alien thing that's currently surrounding them. No one knows how the apartment works. No one knows the mystical, weird nature of it. Yet Mason is trying to figure that out. And she's doing a fine job at it, putting herself in random positions, in dangerous positions to explore every flaw, every nook and cranny, every mystery that this place has to offer. And when I say that you will not know what happens next, I guarantee you won't. 16 chapters this has, and not once have I felt comfortable knowing where this story would go, what it would do, or how it would showcase it, yet every time I'm pleased, I'm impressed, and I am yearning for more.
Was there a reason you asked me that, Emmy?
I don't expect this story to be super long or super successful, but it has a niche, a solid one at that I think a lot of people can easily fall in love with. So check it out, give it a chance. I promise you will fall in love with it.
No problem. Hello. Oh, it came to an end. That was fast. So that was Sufferance for saying the greatest new manga ever. Nothing technically new except that last one. I think we knew the others. If I remember right, did we know the others? No. The last three. The first one is something we knew about, Mad World. I think it was Mad World he talked about. But all the others was relatively new. The key one with the kid sending people to hell, That was not actually brand new to me, but I do remember of doing a video on it one time. So it's kind of amazing.
Silver Comet said hi, Red.
So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, the sufferance. If you want to follow him, it'll be in the link in the description. I put every anime recommendator into the box in the doobly-doo at the bottom, so you guys can go down there and click them and follow them if you want, or watch the video if you want to.
Red or something said the key one is just Death Note, but with more steps.
Yeah, it just feels that way to me. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's go on to the next one. So it says here, we'll do Kiwi, the most manipulative mommy. Okay.
Hey guys, before we start this.
Oh, I remember you. I haven't done a video of you in a long time. From Kiwi. I think one of his videos, I did one of his videos way back when, if I remember it was the right person. But this is Kiwi. It says he has 16.1 thousand subscribers. He said the most, the name of the video, it says the most manipulative mommy in manga. So, she's attractive. She's probably a mom, maybe, or she's just really well endowed. But then again, we'll see. So let's see what this is about.
This video, I have a confession to make.
Red or something. Can I recommend one?
Yeah, you can recommend one. It has to be manga related or something anime related.
Love you. No, on the real, I feel like it is high time for me to admit one of the biggest low-key, poorly hidden secret I have been keeping from y'all all this time. And that is the fact that I used to have another channel before this. No, it's not this one or this one. It's something you guys can't really find anymore because YouTube poofed it out of existence. And because of their rules and regulations, I am actually supposed to be banned from making content here ever again.
If you're talking about the movie, it's him, like it being horrible, as I heard people say it's horrible, or it's just very weird and horrible. We can do a video on that, but it won't be on the be on the reaction
said,
channel.
I swear I was just about to tell you about him now. Ryu the Samurai said I knew he sounded familiar.
So as much as I want to tell you guys about it, to be careful, I can't really specify what the channel really was, or else they might ban me
Yeah,
again.
they said it was insane, but I don't know if people say it was horrible. People say it was horrible. They said it was it was extremely weird. But if it's gonna be, if you want me to do a reaction, it's not gonna be on the reaction channel because I'm trying to make that specifically niche for a minute. But I can always jump back to other things later.
Just note that the content was degenerate, and I said a lot of degenerate things, which in hindsight maybe played a big part of why they decided to terminate the channel in the first place. And I know some of y'all have been seeing those comments that make jokes about how I sound familiar or talk about how they miss me or shit like that, and I gotta say, seeing the new viewers being confused over what the heck they're talking about or not understanding any of the niche references is kind of charming. In a way, it's like adopting children who don't know anything about you or your past life and how f***ed up you actually used to be. Yes, despite all of the gooner / out-of-pocket videos you can find on the channel, I used to say shit that are a lot worse. In fact, there are a lot of times in these videos where I want to say something more, but I push those things down in order to hide myself from the YouTube authorities. But recently, I've read something that has been really started to twist myself open. A manga that is so wild that it started to call my degeneracy back. And like Norman Osborn's Green Goblin mask, it has been talking to me, begging me to take him out for a walk. So I decided, f it, I'm gonna give y'all a glimpse of who I used to be. And the best way to do that is by talking about the manga that brought it out, called A Story of Getting a Mommy After Doing Sugar Mama Dating. Crazy shit. Oh, shit. Feeling like a saggy, massive sack of shit. Let's start things slow. You see, this manga is about a gloomy kid who has no friends, but has a constant habit of staring at his classmates with disdain and anger until his shadow friend stops him from being the asshole of the classroom. We're gonna call her Justina, and we're gonna call him Bob. You see, the reason why Bob glares at his classmates is not because of anything bad, really. He just does so whenever his classmates talk shit about their moms, and whenever they do, he thinks to himself about how privileged their lives actually are, and how they wish he was him. This is because Bobby-kun actually doesn't have a mom. She died giving birth to him, so he's never understood the comforts one would have when they have a mother to embrace them. Which Justina looks at him all weird for.
Wait, what?
And tells him to get his mother complex sorted out.
Wait, what? Wait, whoa, what? Say that again? What the fuck?
Looks at him as one would have when they have a mother to embrace them. which Justina
Oh,
looks at him as one
embrace.
Bob
Okay,
himself about how
I heard
privileged
something
their lives
completely
actually
different.
are and how they wish he was him. This is because Bobby-kun actually doesn't have a mom. She died giving birth to him, so he's never understood the comforts one would have when they have a mother to embrace them, which Justina looks at him all weird for and tells him to get his mother complex sorted out. I don't know why she's doing that. Like, isn't that fucking normal? Bro doesn't have a mom and he just said that he wants a mom. What, are you stupid? But yeah, no, Bob is a gloomy person because his life in itself is pretty damn gloomy too.
I think that's pretty reasonable. He never had a mom, so I don't think you should just, like, I don't know, ostracize him for that. It's just like, the fuck?
Whenever he eats outside, he gets reminded of scenarios he never yet should have got. Whenever he goes home, he goes alone, and on the rare occasion that his dad comes back, which is so rare that he gets surprised whenever he does, his only family member left ignores him and doesn't really give a shit about what his son really does, to the point where he wonders if that guy is even really his dad. And when he goes to sleep, he balls himself up, cold, lonely, wishing for a mother's warmth. However, today was a little different, because before he went to his slumber, he got a match notification on his phone for his quote-unquote MILF hunting app.
What? A MILF hunter? The MILF hunter! The MILF hunter, let's go! What the fuck? You have an app for that? That's real specific. I'm pretty sure that exists somewhere.
So
that
the comment
exists.
said yes, that was hilarious to hear first thing in the morning.
Oh my god, that must be real. I'm telling you.
That exists? Holy shit, I gotta get that shit now! Calm down, calm down. Your turn will come soon. So he lies about his age, goes to meet her at the very next day.
Uga Samurai said rolling on the floor.
My question is, who made it? That's a good question.
And before he leaves out of hesitation, the mommy he matched with came out like an angel that has fallen from the sky. And the moment he meets her, he immediately falls under zero pressure. I mean, seriously, anything she does, he has no idea how to respond. She takes off his hat, calls him adorable, pats him on the head. Bro just got a mommy overload in those 15 seconds of interaction that he might just well bust right there. So anyways, she goes and invites him to her room, so he lets himself in as she starts cooking for him as her idea of a date. And he's like, wow, a mommy is cooking for me. And then the food comes out.
Wait. Is this a dating app, or is it one of those apps where people are super lonely and they're paying for your company type shit?
Silver Comet said, "Our Lord."
Is this like rent a girlfriend or some shit? But you're renting a mom? Is this what this is? I wonder what this is. If this is what this is about.
She looks absolutely bossing. And he takes a bite and he's like, wow, this is so oishi. And she would say, ara ara, mom, it's all over your mouth. And he would say,
shit.
oh wow, to think someone like this exists. And I would say, mommy, this curry is delicious, but I think you would be tastier. And you would say, come on, Kiwi, this ain't that type of manga. And then I would say that you're wrong, because right after that, she starts talking in a sultry manner and asks if he wants to shower. To which he's like, eh? And she's like, is this your first time dating a sugar mommy? Then she starts getting closer. He starts blushing. Her hand slowly makes his way up to his shirt until he says, Dame! Komenasai. I didn't know this was what sugar mama dating is about.
I'm telling you that the voice acting is impeccable.
I just wanted to know what having a mama is like. Huh? どういうことだ? So, you do not have a mother, and that's why you tried to find out what having one was like, which then led you to lie about your age and tried to make me your mom. I'm very sorry. I am... What am I doing? Bobby-kun? Yoshi, daijoubu. All you did was...
Right?
Just tell me the truth. You could have lied and kept it a secret, but instead, you came clean to me. Ureshi. It must have been so lonely without your mommy with you. It's alright. I'm here with you now. So gentle and warm. Such boundless acceptance. This is who a mama is. Oh, I know. How about we do some mommy stuff while we're here? Mommy stuff? Dore? Jajan! Here, lay on my lap. Now I'm gonna make sure your ears are all clean. Kimochi, why does this feel so good? Staring around.
Is this strange ear sex? Is this a weird mommy king ear sex fetish where she does things to his ears? What is happening? What's happening? Bro.
Inside my ear. It feels like I'm being violated. Whoa! What do we have over here? Do you maybe want to step back for a bit, ma'am? I know. It's embarrassing for me to make noises like that. I'm... Nande, that is just me removing dirt from your body. It's only something a parent ought to do. And since it does feel very good, it can't be helped if you make noises like that. When you're with your mama, you can act however you wish to. Let me pamper you properly, Bodhi, and please, call me Mommy. Yeah, I'm folding like a wet blanket. Here are my keys, my money, my dogs. You can have all of them, lady. Now, I can already feel some of you guys pulling back. Some of you, okay? The ones who always have the moral high ground, or always gotta stay within the law, or try to be decent human beings. Yeah, whatever. And I get
trying to be decent human beings. Most of you are horrible degenerates. I'm gonna tell this to all you in your faces, whoever watched this. All you are horrible degenerates, I know, because whenever I do my fucking drawings, y'all have such problem with it. But whenever I'm drawing the numeral stuff, you guys are never fucking seen. Why is that? All you are horrible. I'm going off. Yes, I'm having a rant. I don't give a shit. I'm going after all you. All you are horrible people. All you are not no one great. You are just
Silver Comet said just curious. Ryuga Samurai said face with hand over mouth emoji, face with hand over mouth emoji, face with hand over mouth emoji, face with hand over mouth emoji.
Get it. Kiwi, how could you say such horrible things and allow this kind of terrible behavior to happen? Well, first of all, it's
I'm gonna say it right now.
Something said someone is really ranting lol.
Right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, you guys are horrible. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm saying this with such, ooh, you guys are horrible. All you degenerates, don't pretend like you care all about, oh, this is horrible, this is degenerate. Nah, majority of you pop up when I'm drawing some anime girl, some fucking manic thing, some type of mannequin. It doesn't have to be of any character. Just because it resembles a woman, you guys lose it. It's insane. When I draw something normal, y'all never be seen. But when I'm drawing something a little on the nose, y'all lose y'all shit. And then when you guys get mad, you get in my DMs, start asking for some work. Fuck y'all. Nah. Anyone who's watching this, you're just as degenerate as I am. I don't give a fuck now.
The author's manga.
I'm going on that rant.
I don't have any power in changing anything for the story. Second of all, I think grooming is terrible. And whoever does it needs to go to jail for at least 50 years. Duh. And you guys need to remember, I never once said that I advocate for this behavior to happen to him. I advocate for this behavior to happen to me. Me. Moi. Aku. MYSELF. Me. So when the school somehow found out about his sugar dating and gave him a 1-month suspension, I thought that was kind of weird. Shouldn't you like give him help instead? Anyways, point is, clearly the people in this manga are still right in the head because they view the situation as something to be condemned.
Whoa. What? Wait, what?
The school somehow found out about his sugar dating and gave him a 1-month suspension. I thought that was kind of weird. Shouldn't
How did they figure that out within a 24-hour time? And even if they did figure it out, how did they know? Like, what? Bro, you're fucking all up when you have your sugar mama come over once and they somehow figure it out next day.
Comet said, wait, how did he make the account?
I'm not sure. I hope he did use his school email. I swear to God. Y'all be using your school emails for the most insane shit. shit's weird, yo.
Silver Comet said, wait, hold on, how did everyone share that info?
I'm pretty sure he used his school information. He probably used his school email. Didn't think much of it. That's the only way how I can probably figure that out. He probably used his school email.
Silver Comet said, oh lord.
That's the only thing. How would they know that? Unless he blurted that out to everyone, and I doubt he did that. So I'm going to assume that happened because of the school email somehow.
And you like give him help instead. Anyways, point is, clearly the people in this manga are still right in the head because they view the situation as something to be condemned, as they should. But then a time skip happens and Bobo's dad suddenly introduces his new wife who is somehow, dun dun dun, the same mommy that he met with a few years ago. Nani? Hi Pookie Wookie. From now on, I'm going to be living with you forever. I mean, living with you as your mom. What? But this makes no sense. I know, right? I don't even know this woman. What? Anyways, I'm gonna go to Singapore now. Hope you guys have fun together. What the shit, Dad? And she would go, bye-bye, honey. Anyways, I look forward to living with you. Bobo boy. And he would go, okay, and brought her back to his house, which we can all agree is the wrong choice. Because if you're suddenly living with an older woman who once did sus ass shit to you that even got you suspended, and when she comes back to your life, everything else she does is still kind of fishy, like how she coincidentally started dating his dad after he got in trouble, or how the dad so happens to leave right after introducing you two together, or how she just has those dead, silent eyes that look akin to a predator on a hunt to its prey, the first thing you should do is probably call for some help. But I would say... Legally, it's questionable. Morally, it's disgusting. Personally, I like it. I don't give a shit. I want to be groomed. I want to be a victim. You can try to cancel me all you want. I'm not even on Twitter. Oh shit, I actually am. But I don't even use it that much. And when I do...
Yeah, is it hard to... Like, if you don't have a Twitter, that's kind of hard to cancel them, right? Right? Like that must be like a giant, like, fatal flaw in most people's, like, shit, his
Ryu
Twitter.
the Samurai said, crazy work rolling on the floor
Right?
laughing emoji.
That's crazy.
Guess what I use it for? You guessed it, gooning to some more mommies. Mommies that I wish would come and make me feel helpless and destroy me. No, don't walk away. You wanted this. You wanted to see what I'm like, right? This is me. As much as this kid needs help, I want to be in his position. Here I am, spending all my mornings reading manhwas and dojins with mommies. I'm not joking, by the way. I just started recording this video after reading this, and this. And this guy can now wake up to the sight of a MILF who is fucking obsessed with him. Please, Jesus Christus, reincarnate me into a shota in a world where MILFs would come prowling at me all hungry. This isn't fair. I'm over here dying of thirst while this kid is drowning. Please. Oh, that guy. I'm begging you. Okay, let's go and calm ourselves down and take 5. Okay? I think we all need that right now. So this manga is clearly trying to set up some sort of psychological thriller as opposed to one of those weird rom-coms where morals go out the window just for the plot to make any sense. Because the people here genuinely believe that whatever they are doing is suspicious. The teachers find it weird, people find it weird, Adobo's childhood friend found it weird that she even got her own Chris Hansen investigation thing going on with intervening with their relationship whenever she can. But Adobo himself doesn't find it weird, which actually kind of makes sense because he doesn't know what moms are supposed to do since he never had a mom. So a lot of times you just see him accepting whatever comes his way and sees it as the norm. Even when there are doubts, he still chooses to believe her over his own natural instincts. But whenever he does, it always ends up backfiring and gaslight him into thinking that he's the silly one. Let me give you an example. You see, this woman is very smart. She makes sure to put all the moves on him whenever they are in an enclosed space or somewhere only these two could interact. But she also makes sure to never get too far deep in the case that someone might walk in. For example, she does a little bit of the treatment and is totally trying to trigger his teenage hormones. I mean, come on. Sure, I can feed my mom, but the moment I see her lick my ice cream all sensually like that, I am throwing that shit on the ground. But she's still only shallow dipping in the case that somebody walks in, which someone actually does, being Chris Hansen. But when she does confront her, there really isn't anything for her to corner her with because she really hasn't done anything wrong. If she goes and says that this woman was trying to seduce him by licking ice cream, she would already look stupid like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Kinda sounds like a you problem. So then she leaves, achieving absolutely nothing, and then when he goes back, they immediately start taking a bath together. What the fuck? God, I wish that was me. And during this entire scene, it has been more clear that this woman is teasing the absolute crap out of him. I mean, seriously, watching all the way to his legs just to hit him with the oopsie, didn't mean to go that far, yeah, okay, bitch. And then she even flipped the script about Chris Hansen and used it to her advantage by saying, hey, I think you guys would look cute together, but before you do, I'm gonna have to teach you everything about a woman's body. Jesus fucking Christ, you are so manipulative, lady. And that scene goes exactly how I expect it to be. She plays with his feelings, toys around what he wants to do, pulling away after slightly rewarding him for every touch. I mean, just fucking look at her. This is the biggest gotcha face I have ever seen. And then, when she's about to pull the final move and go for the ending seal, he stops her and rejects her. This is the rare case where his instincts win over her teachings. He finally fights back. He prevented himself from having to call the CPS. This should be a W. But instead, she pulls it off by saying that he did the right choice, telling him that if the situation ever comes to the—
Oh, she's a hard gaslighter. Okay. She gaslight this man so hard.
these two, the right thing to do is to reject her and wait until you both get older, which then made him feel stupid for doubting her and even made him apologize to her and think that she was doing all of that out of total—
It's pure gaslighting. He's manipulating and she's manipulating and gaslighting him. Just enough for her not to say anything crazy. Okay, okay.
concern over him. Holy shit. Do you guys realize what fucking IQ move she just did there? This is Tony Cruz levels of playmaking. So we can all agree that she was definitely trying to do some shit here. But she also knew that there would be a chance where he would reject her. But she thinks, well, either way, that would be good because I can hide it under the guise of teaching him an actual good lesson of sex education. Which is true. Like, the things that she said aren't wrong. In fact, none of her teachings have really been incorrect per se. But the thing is, this move of telling him good job not only gives her the clear, but it also tells him to not interact with her anymore. She met Chris Hansen once and immediately went into work to manipulating him to avoid her, his childhood friend. Not only to keep herself safe, but also to get rid of any notions that these two could ever develop romantically. So really, the moment she even tried this attempt, she was already in a win-win situation. If he accepts it, game over. If he rejects it, she gets rid of the obstacle and manipulates him further to gain her objective. Which then leads to the question, what is her objective? The manga only has 7 chapters so far, and I still don't have a clue on what she's trying to pull. I mean, there are hints, but you still can't get a good read on the fool. She says that she wanted to be his mom ever since they met that one time because he triggered her maternal instincts. We also see glimpses that maybe she never had a good family beforehand and is now into him to make her own new family. Part of me even thinks that she's doing this just for the money. I mean, she was in a sugar mama dating app, and I assume a lot of people use those apps for financial reasons, and the fact that we don't know anything about this character makes the manga that much more interesting. I love the mystery surrounding the character, and not knowing what her true motives really are gives off this feeling of suspense that I really love to see in my stories. It's like watching Makima in Chainsaw Man, except that she's a little more romance affiliated. Like, another part of me just wishes that there's a sick, twisted romance of a woman that is genuinely obsessed with this kid. Which, in that case, I'm gonna have to start reading this manga as a PDF file. But regardless—
I'm not gonna lie to you, if the roles was reversed on this situation, if it was a man and a woman, he will instantly be cancelled. You see how funny this is? Because women are not actually seen as predators, which they can be, because they're not physically imposing. Most cases, they're just psychologically manipulative. You see the problem here? Like, if it was a man and a girl, this would be an issue almost instant. It would be banned.
So the comment said, oh no, it's over immediately.
Yeah, it will be over. It will be banned. It will be ostracized. It will be everything under the sun. Collective shout will come in here. The Trump administration will be up in this bitch. Everything under the sun.
I said not woman, girl.
Not woman, girl. No, yeah, girl. I mean, it was just a girl. Like, if it was a man and a little girl, or I don't know how old he is. I think he's probably high school. Let's just say a high school girl and a grown man like this, but he was attractive and stuff. they will still have somewhat of an issue with it. I'm telling you. But because she's a woman, it's not that big of a deal. That's where this problem comes in. This is insane.
I am loving this manga at the moment. It serves as a good break from all the wholesome shit I'm reading and works as a good substitute before Nakamura Regular drops another banger. If you know, you know. I love mommies to death. I also love dark romances. And sometimes, toxic bitches that are clearly bad for you but are so attractive that you can't help but be a bull that runs straight to the red flags are my kryptonite. And with this manga clearing all of these loves that I have, I think it is only fair for
the video I wanted to recommend is called When the Author Writes About Himself Beyond Me. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Is that if it's a manga or an anime sentiment?
For me to rate this fairly highly. So I'm gonna go ahead and give A Story of Getting a Mommy After Doing Sugar Mama Dating a solid score of 8 out of 10.
Interesting.
Alrighty, I got a tiny bit of an update since this is where I usually plug my socials, but I got 2 new channels that you guys can check out. One is where I upload my streaming VODs, and the other is where if you're too lazy to watch any of the streams, you can watch the edited versions of them over here.
I'm going to stop it there because of the music. But if you guys want to check out Kiwi, like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. Link in the bottom, all that stuff. I'll put their name in the description and their channel at the description as well. I'll put the video in there as well so you can find them and all that great stuff. I'm going back making reaction videos. It seems like you guys actually do like them. If you do like the reaction videos, please follow them on Artextric Reacts. We do only mainly anime specific stuff. If it's anything art related, if we're doing like an art reaction, it'll be on the art channel. If we're doing anything anime, manga movie, anime movie, or anything anime related that is reactive to, we throw everything to the Artextric Reacts channel. If you don't know where it is, it's in the description. Also, the gaming channel, I will be posting a bunch of gaming stuff over there as well. So if you want to check it, go ahead.
Said small snippets of both anime and manga.
Yep. Okay. All right. So with that said, like, share, follow, and comment, and I'll see you guys next one. And give a follow to Kiwi. I think this is interesting, much less. All right. Let me see. Did you send it on Discord or did you send it on Instagram? Let's see here. A bunch of police were terrified of the Spanish community. See here, when the manga just don't give a fuck. Boomer cartoons. By 4chan. Ah. Let's see. This manga might actually be a masterpiece. I guess I'm gonna do one more.
I don't think I'm going to be ruining anyone's day when
See here.
Isekai.
Oh, this is 30 minutes. No.
I don't think I'm going to be ruining anyone's day.
Too long. It has to be like 10 minutes or less. It can't be any more longer than that. That should be fucking long. Night manga recap. How about that one?
This girl here is Wakamatsu Yuka. She's proper, friendly, and pretty. Today, the main character confessed and became her boyfriend. But this is the same...
Okay. Wait, this might be a video. I don't know yet. But, let's see what this is about. Read it 3 months ago. The aftermath. The confection. She was confused. Let me see. Nah. Most of these are kind
Lev Romanovich just followed.
Where can we go with this one? Thank you for the follow. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know about this one. Okay, hold on.
Hey, remember the first?
Nah, too sus. I can't put that one up there. That would get me in trouble. Tips that help me draw. Nah. Peace. Okay. You know what? I think we have enough manga stuff for the most hard range of push 11. That's 49 minutes. Mm. 43 minutes. Okay, you know what? I think we went far enough with all the manga stuff for now. We'll do one more. We'll do other videos now. Let me see.
Don't be a sap.
We'll go with this one. I'm near done anyway. It's already 7 something. I'm wondering. Should I play game or should I call it a night? Should I play game or should we call it a night? Wait, let's put it here.
Dad, these are just crappy knockoffs.
I know a genuine coin.
I'm thinking. You know what? I'll ask Bry. After this video, bro, you want to just jump off, or do you want me, or should I play game?
Anaphonics when I see it. And look, there's Magnet Box and Zorny.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the strangest and most shameless knockoff products and brands. Number 20. Mountain Lightning, Mountain Lion, Mountain Dew. To do the dew, you must drink a Mountain Dew.
Give me the sunshine, give me dew.
Common knowledge. Walmart and Food Lion introduced the public to alternative dew methods with their Mountain Lightning and Mountain Lion sodas, respectively. Walmart's Mountain Lightning showcases the same recognizable color scheme as Mountain Dew.
Pour that bad boy on in. Let's get right on into it.
Dare we say it's a little too similar. It does have less caffeine though. As for Food Lion's Mountain Lion, the bottle design doesn't exactly pop out at you. It's the Mountain Dew-like green liquid it houses that does that. But bottle appearance, soda color, and taste aside, the idea of asking someone if there are any mountain lions in the garage just sounds odd.
I mean, you don't know which one to choose? Definitely choose this. This is pretty damn good.
Number 19. Crust. Crest. Changing one letter of a famous brand is a typical knockoff strategy.
Basic toothpaste stops at the top. Crest goes deeper to dissolve the bonds that hold stains to teeth.
But changing Crest toothpaste to Crust toothpaste? Seriously, what are we doing? The name Crust doesn't exactly scream dental hygiene. If anything, it sounds like it'd make your teeth less white, more cavity prone, and give you absolutely terrible breath.
Excuse me, sir. I hope my horrible ugliness won't be a distraction to you.
Not at all, boy!
But hey, who knows how many people have actually tried this stuff? Not much has to be said about why you should choose Crest over Crust. Let's just treat this toothpaste branding debacle as a lesson that one small letter can make a very big difference.
New Crest Pro Health Clinical Toothpaste. Life opens up when you do.
Number 18. Pranks. Tricks. We get the synonym strategy Prank cereal went with to distinguish itself from Tricks, but it definitely seems like they missed a golden opportunity.
Look at that raspberry red, wild berry blue, and lemony yellow combination!
Why not use the X ending, as in PRANX, instead of the PRANKS they went for? If you're gonna try to emulate Tricks, it's only right.
Wow, bro, look at that. Look at that. Look at it. God, that is shameless. What is the point of this? Like, why do people do this? This is so shameless. Like, it's shame. Oh my God. You should be ashamed of yourself. What the fuck is this? They really, not only that they went with a similar sounding like name and synonym, but they also picked color scheme is the same. The cereal placement is the same. The character's not the same, but Jesus Christ, that's the only distinguishing factor. Like, even the color of the logo is almost the same. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Must be said, though, that the animal mascot, a raccoon, not a rabbit mind you, as well as the design on the Pranks box do work pretty well. It's fun.
No, we got tricks at home.
We got pranks at home.
Fun to imagine a commercial for this colorful cereal. They'd probably say something like, "Silly raccoon, pranks are for kids."
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids.
It figures.
Or it's like, or they're gonna say, "Silly raccoon, you can't prank us." There you go.
Number 17. Wow, I totally thought it was butter. You'd better believe it. I can't believe it's not butter. There's no shortage of butter substitutes out there. Many people know the famous I Can't Believe It's Not Butter, a brand of margarine that's been around since 1981.
Today, we know better. That's why there's I Can't Believe It's Not Butter.
There are also off-brands that play on the lengthy brand name fun with their own twists. One of those products is called Wow, I Totally Thought It Was Butter. Yeah, we bet you did. The other
Yep.
There is called You'd Butter Believe It. Yeah, you butter. Maybe someday there'll be a No Way That's Not Butter too. We'll let you decide which name is best.
Now, we know better. I Can't Believe It's Not Butter.
Number 16. Donkey Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, we get it that Dunkin' Donuts technically goes by just Dunkin' now. That change occurred in 2019.
Do I look familiar? Oh.
But one thing's for sure, competition from Donkey Donuts has nothing to do with that. Donkey Donuts clearly tried to replicate the Dunkin' Donuts vibe. The sign's font looks all too similar to the multinational mega chain. And the name, Donkey Donuts, well, leaves a lot to be desired.
You donkey!
The name Dunkin' Donuts came from the concept of dunking donuts into coffee. Donkey Donuts has the alliteration going for it, yes, but in terms of sounding like a legit appetizing alternative to a Dunkin' Donut, we don't think so.
You might have seen a housefly, maybe even a superfly, but I bet you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
Number 15. Burger Madam and Sir, Burger Friends, Burger King. BK is known for making sure you have it your way and letting us know we rule.
BK, have it your way.
The ubiquitous fast food chain has been around since the 1950s, and it's inspired other restaurants. Like, really inspired them. Exhibit A, Burger Madam and Sir.
Instead of Burger King, it's a Madam and Sir.
The name doesn't have the same snappiness as Burger King.
What?
Exhibit B, Burger Friends, one of multiple restaurants
My Burger King with my Burger Queen.
that appeared as part of a rise in the fast food scene in Baghdad,
Yo, if they said Burger King, Burger Queen, Burger King.
Iraq. Each of these restaurants' logos is nearly identical to Burger King's old logo. BK said have it
You
your
could have just say Magic Queen. That could have worked.
way, not their way.
Have it your way. Have it your way.
Number 14,
wow.
Skirple, Sharpie. You know you've made it when people stop saying permanent marker and just say Sharpie.
Using your Sharpie to mark boards there, Bob, huh? My name is Dave.
With all due respect, it's hard to imagine the permanent marker known as Skirple ever reaching that status. This Chinese knockoff brand looks awfully familiar. The resemblance is uncanny, like permanent marker twins. And obviously, the fact that Skirple starts with an S only adds to the copycat energy. The Sharpie has been around since 1964, when it became the first ever pen-style permanent marker. Its dominance on the market seems, dare we say, permanent. No offense, Skirple.
Sharpie. Right out loud.
Number 13, Prongles, Pringles. As far as
Prongles
chips
and
stacked in a
Pringles?
tall cylindrical tube go, it doesn't get any better than Pringles. They do say once you pop, you can't stop. With all those different flavors, and of course that iconic mustached man logo, Pringles are world famous. But there's also been another stackable chip sold in a similar container with a pretty cool logo of its own. Its name? Prongles. That's right, there's...
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Pringles has been the most biggest scam ever to buy them, because I feel like even though they taste great, you're not getting as much chips as you think, compared to like other bags of chips, I think. I might be wrong on that, but...
There's Pringles, and then there's Prongles, or at least there was. People were understandably confused when these parody chips appeared in the cards and games section at Target stores in 2017. Soon after, we found out Prongles was created by the same company that made the party game Cards Against Humanity. That explains it, sorta.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Number 12, Nutmaster, Nutella. This one's a real head-scratcher.
Make breakfast special with the cocoa and hazelnutty goodness of Nutella.
Nutmaster is apparently a Nutella-like product made in Turkey. But let's just say the name might make you think it's something else. Seriously, what went into the thought process here? Besides a very questionable name of pure hilarity, Nutmaster has a very similar label and color scheme as Nutella.
Delicious on porridge.
You know how sometimes you notice a product on the shelf for its shape, color, or design rather than the name?
Yep.
Well, even with those similarities, if you were to spot a Nutmaster container, how could you not do a double take? Let's not kid ourselves. The master of hazelnut cocoa spreads is Nutella.
Nutella, always better together.
Number 11.
Was on purpose.
I would love to see a commercial on that. I would love to see a Nutmaster commercial and try to like market that to people. Nutmaster. Oh my god, I like Nutmaster in the mouth.
Phony. Sony. They're not even trying to hide it.
You're looking at the biggest single product Sony has ever had.
This gaming controller has the name Phony on it instead of Sony.
Are you kidding
and
me?
rather than the typical buttons, triangle, circle, X, and square found on a Sony PlayStation controller, the Phony's controller buttons are F, O, N, and Y. At the same time,
To share this knowledge with Monty.
it does look like it has all the buttons you need, but it's hard to believe these things would be as functional or durable as a regular Sony controller. At least the name is a warning in and of itself. It's quite literally a phony, albeit with an F.
PlayStation.
Number 10, Robert Cop, RoboCop. If you grew up in the 1980s, you definitely remember RoboCop.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Part man, part machine, all cop. This movie spawned countless catchphrases, toys, and even several sequels. However, if you stumble across an action figure of the famous Robot Cop in store today, you might want to take a closer look at the label.
Anything you say may be used against you. It's dangerous!
A few years ago, a series of Robert Cop action figures appeared on the shelves of Chinese department stores.
It's Robert Cop. It's Robert Cop, bro. It's not RoboCop. It's Robert Cop. How can you get those things mixed up? It's not that hard.
Bearing a striking resemblance to the real titular police officer. They're so close, in fact, that to compare them side by side would yield little to no difference in appearance.
Damn.
Except for the tagline, that is. Apparently, Robert Cop is the furniture of law enforcement. Number 9, Dr. Bob, Dr. Pepper. First Robert, now Bob. Apparently, the name is a common theme in ripoffs. Anyway, walk into any major
Dr. Pepper? You just have Dr. Spice.
grocery chain, and you'll often find a store brand version of the more popular sodas.
I'm used to it. I'm a doctor.
Great Value, Big 8, and countless other no-name brands are always cheaply priced. Normally, the names are distinct enough from the original to stand apart, but positioned close enough to their counterparts to make the comparison.
I'm revoking your license, Dr. Thunder. Thumbs down.
Dr. Bob, a variation on the Dr. Pepper brand, fits the bill, even if it does come up a little short on the creativity front.
Oh, now he's a doctor? Before he was a podiatrist.
And Dr. Bob isn't the only soda brand out there to mimic the doctor in the title. Do you know any others? Number 8. Game Child, Game Boy. Although not technically the first portable game system, Nintendo's Game Boy was certainly the first.
Why is it called Game Boy when it could be called Game Boy Girl? Most like woman take ever. Women. Girl really looked at that and said, I don't know why they call it Game Boy when it can be called Game Boy Girl. Really? You fucking... You just can't. Y'all can't just help yourselves, huh?
First major success in the market.
Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable.
Sales exploded, and video game fans were eager to finally play their games on the go. Given the popularity, it was only a matter of time before someone tried to rip off the idea. Enter the Game Child. Modeled nearly identically to the original Game Boy, this copycat could easily fool a parent unfamiliar with handheld game consoles. The biggest difference was that the Game Child did not allow you to play separately sold cartridges. Instead, you were limited to one built-in game out of 6 options per Game Child, with the name of the game indicated on the box. Number 7. Special Man, Superman. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a knockoff.
Hey, it's Superman.
I don't need to say anything for you guys. I don't need to say anymore. I don't need to say it. I don't need to say it. Special Man. Up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Special Man. He's special. Really? You never thought that this so wild? Oh my god.
It's safe to say that no one's claiming that Superman isn't special. He's got super strength, X-ray vision, and the power of flight. What's not special about that?
Hi there. Something wrong with the elevator?
Well, someone out there thought it ought to be made a little more forthright, and thus, Special Man was born. One look at the outside, and it's clear as day that this is a Superman action figure encased in different packaging.
He's not that special.
The cape, the belt, the famous S on his chest, and even his twirl of hair are all identical to the original. Come on, guys. You could have tried to make it look at least a little different.
He is very special, this one.
They didn't even use like alternative colors or anything. They just used the exact Superman. Someone looked at this and said, yes, this is different. There's nothing wrong with this. This is absolutely different from the thing that we're trying to avoid. Some moron literally looked at this and said, this is, no one said anything. My God.
Number 6. Dolce and Banana, Dolce and Gabbana. A quick Google search for Dolce and Banana will yield a plethora of results, all related to poking fun.
I'm not gonna lie, anyone who approved of this was the Special Man. Anyone who approved of that idea, from the packaging to the people who approved that, FDA, whatever case may be, y'all special. You're the true special men.
At the Italian fashion house Dolce and Gabbana.
What are you doing? Ooh. Dolce, nice.
Admittedly, the latter half of their name does sound an awful lot like banana. This, of course, has opened them up to plenty of mockery in the form of banana-themed apparel. However, a little shop in Cape Town, South Africa decided to use the mock name for their jewelry shop.
They're not hers. They're not Dolce's. Technically, they've been abandoned.
Dolce & Gabbana sued them, forcing a name change. But that hasn't stopped the onslaught of t-shirts, bags, and stickers depicting a banana with the original brand's logo. Number 5. Boreo Cream Betweens, Oreo. Introduced over a century ago, Oreo has become the best-selling cookie brand in the United States.
That is Minato, Naruto, Boruto, Oreo, Boreo. Fucking, oh my god.
Wafers separated by a cream filling have become a staple of sweets among
Minato, Naruto, Boruto, Oreo, Borio, Mario, Wario.
Fans around the world.
Los Oreos. Oreos, you mean the cookie?
Case in point, the Egyptian company Family Nutrition created a copycat of the cookie called Borio and sold it within Egypt. Another knockoff brand is called Cream Betweens, which appears to be far more available across the United States compared to its Egyptian counterpart.
Is it A, Sauceros, B, Choco Pucks, C, Cream Betweens, or D, chocolate-flavored sadness food?
We hate to say it, but these replicas are sort of well-deserved, considering Oreos are actually an imitation in themselves of the preceding Hydrox cookie. Turns out revenge is a dish best served with a glass of milk. Number 4, Benign Girl, Barbie. Hugely popular around the world, Barbie has been a staple of children's toys since the early 1960s. Much like any other popular brand, it too has seen its share of mimicry over the years. One interesting variation of Barbie is a Taiwanese brand, Benign Girl.
Benign Girl.
It's hard to know what the creators were thinking of with the name, but we're guessing it has something to do with a poor translation. They both start with B. That's basically the same thing, right? If you were one of those kids who wanted a cell phone of your own, well, Benign Girl's got you covered. Their most popular product seems to be a pink flip phone, but they've also recently acquired a pink smartphone. You know, for the newer generations. Number 3, Panburger Partner, Hamburger Helper. Have you ever gone to the grocery store
no way half of these companies are making any fucking money.
Wanted to pick up a specific brand name for a product, then accidentally grabbed the no-name one instead?
Ketchup. 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 Ketchup.
We're thinking the makers of Panburger Partner were looking to take advantage of such oversights when they created this product.
Hi, who's that?
That's the helping hand Mom gets with Hamburger Helper.
Clearly a replica of the Betty Crocker branded Hamburger Helper, this beef noodle mix leaves nothing to the imagination when it comes to its inspiration. With a similar colored box and almost identical photographs on the front, there is no mistaking what they're up to. One thing is still bothering us though. Just what did they do with Lefty the Helping Hand?
Hamburger Helper. Hearty beef noodle.
Number 2, Michael
Lefty the Helper has a OnlyFans. You can do with that information if you want.
Microsoft Binbos, Microsoft Windows. In 2004, a Canadian student by the name of Mike Rowe got into a lawsuit with Microsoft over a domain name called MikeRoweSoft.com.
This is it, Marge. I poured my heart and soul into this business, and now it's finally paying off. We're rich, richer than astronauts.
Mike eventually settled with the tech giant, but it appears...
Sadly, I ran into this very thing. I thought it was a joke. Someone said that it has its own OnlyFans. You can go check it out if you want.
Others may have used similar tactics to corral customers. Microsoft Binbos was a computer repair shop located in Japan. The sign shown in photos depicts an older Microsoft logo, as well as styled text similar to the original, all perched on a building-side billboard. As funny as the name is, it makes a little more sense when you understand the pun behind it. Binbo is a Japanese term meaning cheap. Either way, the store's signage became quite the internet meme long after it had closed its doors. How could it not? Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Sunbucks Coffee, Starbucks. When you become one of the world's most successful coffee vendors, it's only a matter of time before someone tries to reproduce your formula.
Hi, I'm Nathan Fielder, president and founder of Dumb Starbucks.
Or in this case, your entire logo. Sunbucks Coffee is a Chinese version of the famous Seattle-based coffee brand Starbucks. While retaining the white and green colors, Sunbucks uses a Chinese dragon in the center of their logo, as opposed to the legendary mermaid Starbucks fans have come to recognize. As distasteful as brand copycats are, things could be worse than Sunbucks Coffee. At least they aren't Starbucks Beatles, where, you guessed it, they don't exactly sell your morning brew. Have you ever tried any of these knockoff brands? Let us know in the comments below.
This is a real business I plan to get rich from, but I need your support.
Who says that outside? No one says that out loud. Alright, I'm gonna stop it from here. We got, wow, wait, I knocked out 4. Wow, I knocked out 4 of them. Last time I was able to knock out at least 1 or 2. I knocked out 4. Let's go. Progress. We only need 1 more left, and then we can start putting this in, we can start putting this in, what do you call it? Rough animator.
Red or something said nice.
Let's go. Like, I'm usually pretty fast making a bunch of gesture drawings, but this came out pretty good. Especially in fruition, they look consistent. That's the point. The consistency is where I usually fuck up on, not the drawings. Usually I can make any drawing look pretty good gesture-wise, but when it comes to, like, the actual consistency, staying on model, that's usually my biggest problem. Alright, guys. So with that said, we're gonna go. I guess we'll just finish as much as possible of Silk Song, I guess. Since you guys want me to play that. So, I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna stop the stream, and I'll be back in like a couple of minutes. I'll just finish Silk Song, I guess. We only got like 2, I think, areas left. I think 1 or 2. So yeah. What the fuck? I was not expecting you guys wanted me to play that. But yeah. So I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
Red or something said okay, bye for now.
Laters.